Count on.
Partly cloudy skies here for our Friday. We'll see an afternoon high of around 44. Winds out of the south at around 10. Tonight, partly cloudy with brisk conditions as northwest winds could gust over 20, a low down to 18. Much colder tomorrow. Despite sunshine, we only reach a high of around 28. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is Tom and Bock, coming at you live from Coppel Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Tom Stevens.
I think today is probably overall the best practice I've been a part of in Nebraska.
Jake Bockoven.
I think we had our best week of practice ever again. So if our goal is to get better day by day, it's been a good week.
Tom and Bock starts now.
Hey, look, we did it, Bock. Nice job, everyone. Congratulations. We made it to Friday. It's the Tom and Bock Show. Tom Stevens, Jake Bockoven. How you feeling? Did you get enough sleep last night? Because I know you had to host early break with Sip and Jake, although it was Bock and Jake, or Bock and Sip.
Oh, my name's still Jake.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it gets confusing, because when a Jake leaves, we send in another Jake on the morning show. Because where's Sorensen this week? By the way?
He's San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah, he's been there a couple of times. I know last time he played Torrey Pines.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was talking about how well he did.
One of my favorite cities I've ever been to, I'd have to say, San Diego.
It's up there
Beautiful.
for me. I love San Diego. Always 75. Isn't that the joke? The best job in the world is being the weatherman in San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
I think Nebraska is called the San Diego of the Big Ten West.
By Tim Miles.
That's right. Somebody called it
That's some good branding right there.
That is great branding. It is Tom and Bock. We got a big show for you. Does it feel big?
It feels real big, yeah.
That's what I thought, too. That's when I was putting it together, I'm going, this is a kind of a big show. But you be the judge. We'll talk some Nebraska volleyball. 4-set win over Pittsburgh last night. After kind of getting thrashed in the first set, they come back with great blocking, passing, serving, and they win it in 4 over Pittsburgh. And now the national championship game is set. Nebraska versus Wisconsin, ESPN 2. I'm not sure why they didn't put it on the big channel, but it looks like it's ESPN 2 tomorrow night, 6:15, first serve. How do you feel about Nebraska's chances tomorrow night?
Well, first of all, there's no game preempting it, so at least it'll start on time. So that sounds good. But I mean, I think it's an uphill battle, right? I mean, Wisconsin's beat them twice this season, beat them 7 times overall, straight back to 2017. But they don't shy away from it. If you heard Coach Cook after the game, kind of said we got another matchup with our buddies, and that's who they have to beat. But I mean, this is not a tournament where they just kind of had things fall their way. There was a second there where Kentucky fell, and you go, okay, well, they don't have to face the defending champ, but they had to go through Texas. They had to go through the 2 and 3 seed to get here. Now the 1 seed's out, right? Louisville did lose, but Wisconsin. I mean, it only sets up perfectly for Nebraska. If you're going to win a championship, do it through Texas and Wisconsin, because that makes it even better for us.
Say Nebraska wins tomorrow night, straight sets, clocks Wisconsin, a team they haven't beaten in quite a while, certainly beaten 2 times this year. Hard to beat a team 3 times in the same year, Bock. They always say that. And I'm John Cook, and I'm sitting across from you, and your name is Trev Alberts, say Sunday when they get together. And I say, well, I'm going to need $1 million raise, because this is my best coaching job ever. You got to give it to me, right? Because nobody else in the athletic department's doing anything.
Yeah, we'll take our money. We'll just pull it from the rest of the disappointing programs.
Yeah. Hey, go to Scott Frost. Can you give up $1 million more? We're going to give it to John Cook. I know you gave up $1 million and, $7 million in the buyout or whatever that was. You got to hand over another $1 million to John Cook.
Have we figured out? We haven't figured out Mark Whipple's salary yet, right? Hasn't been disclosed.
You want me to guess it?
Yeah.
He'll be the highest paid offensive coordinator in Nebraska football history. That's for one. And he'll be $1 million man. $1.1 million for Mark Whipple, the 64-year-old that's been everywhere. He's an interesting dude. Like you hear the conversation with him, and it's like, I can do anything. I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
I adjust to the personnel on the roster. I got Ben Roethlisberger. I run Ben Roethlisberger stuff. If I've got Logan Smothers, I'll probably do Logan Smothers stuff. And maybe they'll get Caden Slovis.
Yes.
That's the new news out of the portal. Oh, by the way, we're burying the lead. Dakotas Crawford has committed to the University of Nebraska. You want to hit the clapping noises or
The
something
coldest
like
to
that?
ever do it.
He's the coldest, baddest, meanest man. I'm sure that's I'm the first one to say something clever like that.
Well, you only hear it for the next 4 years.
He will instantly go to the top. Thank you.
That's a little light.
There you go for Dakotas Crawford. He will instantly go to the top of the all Nebraska name team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who has a better name now in the history of Nebraska football? Thunder Collins.
It's a pretty good name.
I'm going to go with
Wonder Mons.
Wonder Mons was great. I'm going to go to Coldest Crawford.
I don't know. I always liked Monte Cristo. That's pretty good.
The Count. That is.
Count.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty good.
But
that
the
was
coldest
more,
is pretty cool.
Monte Cristo was his name, though. The Count. You like Monte Cristo?
Yeah.
Just because
it's easy. Yeah,
it's easy. But I'm excited about that. Dakotas Crawford has committed. Mickey Joseph already paying dividends. We knew he was a really good. He was going to be a tough guy to get. I think it was a long shot that Nebraska was going to get him, except for Mickey's recruiting him, and he's known as a great recruiter. He was committed to LSU, and I'm sure Mickey was recruiting him to LSU. He's a wide receiver, so Mickey got him to flip. That's a good one.
It did help. I was going to make the joke that it helped Nebraska's recruiting commit list jump from 59th to 58th. And it's kind of still that joke if you're really going to make it, but 59th to 52nd. So that is a jump, at least, it's something.
Somebody on the text line, Jeans and Kent, they both, and Dr. Tom, they all say, I am hip. 3 different people
that's tough to beat
say
too.
I am hip. But don't forget, it was Isaiah Moses Hip was his name. I mean, we just shortened it.
Yeah.
The coldest hasn't been shortened. Yeah, that's just.
But he went by I am hip, right? Or did did people just kind of force it on him?
He went by I am hip.
Yeah.
But I knew it was Isaiah Moses. And he was a walk-on, one of the most famous walk-ons in Nebraska football history. Johnny Trueblood, also a walk-on.
That's a good name.
Has been nominated. I like Johnny Trueblood. But Will Bolt, somebody likes that.
Yeah. That's a good name.
Yeah, so we've done that show. Anytime somebody has a great name, I think we went through that with Phil Darius Payne.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do it again.
Yeah, Major Payne is what we shortened that to, and now he's left us. I mean, we give him this great name and probably a chance to make millions in name, image, and likeness, and he leaves us. And mostly, I'll just miss the guy because I like the guy a lot.
Yeah.
Phil Darius was a good guy to get to know, but he was definitely on the all-name team, and now he's gone. But in the portal, sometimes you lose one. You lose a big name, Phil Darius Payne. You gain a big one, Dakotas Crawford.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, too, because Nebraska's wide receiver core, there's not too many instant impact players on the freshman list, right? And I don't know if Dakotas Crawford is that guy, but that's a position of need to a degree. You kind of have your top names there, but you want to see, how that's going to fill out. And it's looking more and more, at least to me, like Nebraska's going to get a pocket passer in the portal. Because the Caden Slovis rumors, if you haven't been following, the rumors were that it's down to Cal, Nebraska, and Arizona. Cal, a couple hours ago, got the commitment from Jack Plummer, former Purdue commit. So it's now likely down to Arizona and Nebraska for Slovis, who was one time a Heisman Trophy candidate. Kind of fell off. Jackson Dart pretty much took his job, I suppose, at USC, but had some injuries there too, but I think it would be a good get if they can get him. I know you're not too excited about it because he's a pocket passer, and you're just against any pocket passer.
I don't
Tom
like
Brady,
any of
I guess.
I don't like any of them. The last pocket passer I liked at the University of Nebraska, really liked, was probably Dave Hum or Vince Ferragamo.
Zach Taylor?
70s.
You don't like Zach Taylor?
He was Big 12 Player of the Year. I did like Zach.
Yeah, and he took a beating.
He was great because he would stand in the pocket and just get mauled afterwards. He had no offensive line. And he was, when I think of Zach Taylor, I think of the drive versus Texas A&M that he led, that ended with a Maurice Purify touchdown in the end zone. They beat Texas A&M. That was a great game. But he was a really good player. I thought if he would have had a better arm, he would have played in the NFL.
Yeah.
And that's why he really didn't get look looks in the NFL, but he was really accurate. And he could throw some, he could throw the deep out. He actually could throw the deep out really well. Yeah, that's the only pocket passer in the last, I want to say the last 20 years that I've really liked.
Well, your only other choices really are
Sam Keller?
Tanner Lee, Sam Keller.
Because Joe Gans was not that.
No.
Joe Gans was not, he was a pro style. I mean, he could play pro style, and he did with Bill Callahan. And then when Bo Pelini took over in 2008, took over as more of an option / pro style quarterback. He was a dual threat.
Would you call Zach Lee a dual threat?
No way.
No, not
no.
really.
I mean, he was promoted that way.
He never ran for more than 100 yards in a
No, he was not. And he had a terrible offensive line as well.
And he was just kind of an awkward runner.
And the son of Bobby Lee, who played for my Vikings in the
That's
NFL, he was a little bit like Bobby Lee. Not very good.
He was a little bit like Bobby Lee, not very good.
Not very
I like
good.
that. He was. I thought it was cool that he stuck around at Nebraska. I suppose he started. I don't think he started a game, but he came in for Taylor Martinez in 2010. And I suppose it was just, they were going to have nowadays, if you were a returning starter and you lost the battle, you're a transfer portal, you're out. Right? I don't know if he would be, but he stuck around that year.
Sometimes if you don't even lose the gig, or if you have the gig, maybe you get injured, then you're just going to the portal. It's time for a new opportunity. I mean, Bo Nix would have gotten another opportunity at Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Because he was on again, off again.
He's probably the same situation as Martinez, where it's like, you'll likely start if you stay here, but we got to bring some competition in.
I understand why Keaton Slovis is leaving. I mean, he doesn't seem like a Lincoln Riley type quarterback. He can throw it, and Lincoln Riley demands that, but he can't move his feet very well.
Well, and Jackson Dart is there, and he was off to a good start, so it would have been competitive to get it there. And then he's got this thing where, even though he had like almost a Heisman Trophy campaign type of year in 2019, and then 2020 was pretty good too. He was never a 5-star. And at USC, it seems to matter because all their quarterbacks are always 4 or 5 stars. He was like the one that was a 3-star that kind of rose above it. But I don't know if they'll ever, they're always looking for the shiny new toy, and especially with Lincoln Riley. I think they'd want to pair him with Jackson Dart. So I think that's why he's out of there. But he's still one of the best names, especially in the portal now. I mean, everybody's almost gone. Michael Penix is out. Miles Brennan's out. Jack Plummer's out.
Good.
Martinez
I don't want him. I don't want any
Max
of those
Johnson's
guys.
out.
Get rid of them all.
You just want Bo Nix.
I just want Bo Nix. And that's where my list starts, and that's where my list ends.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean, again, I've said this before, it doesn't mean you can't run a pro-style offense. Fine. Just have a guy a la, and I know they don't grow on trees, Bryce Youngs of the world. But look at the guys that are good in college football. Even Kenny Pickett could move. Yeah. I would take a Kenny Pickett because he can move around. And, who else do you really like? Caleb Williams in Oklahoma obviously would definitely draw my attention.
Sam Howell, started to be able to run this year. So, or showed off. He's done it before.
Any of those guys go in the portal, snap them up. I want them. Bryce Young, as soon as he goes into the portal, I'll take him. That's not likely. The Heisman winner will go.
But all the guys you want are like solidified starters. There's a reason why if they're that good, they're solidified starters and they're playing well. You have to take a guy out of the portal with some damage or some questions. And
you mean like a Joe Burrow that was available and we didn't want him like that?
Yeah, like that. That's
go get Joe Burrow. Oh, wait a minute. We could have had Joe Burrow.
Is there another Joe Burrow sitting in the portal? Maybe.
But I wanted Joe Burrow then, and I want another Joe Burrow type of quarterback now. Again, he was a pro-style pocket passer who could move his feet.
Mm-hmm.
He could escape, and if you needed him to run, he would run and get touchdowns. That's what I want. And Keaton Slovis, if he comes here to the University of Nebraska, I'm going to get really excited. Just like I did maybe a little bit with Tanner Lee, and then I'm going to be extremely disappointed.
He's not coming from Tulane. He's coming from USC.
Yeah, I know.
If you're kind of new to him or haven't paid much attention, he had 30 touchdowns in 2019 to 9 picks. Was kind of the new wonder child over there at USC. Whenever a quarterback throws for 3 touchdowns, everybody claims he's going to be the next great quarterback. And then the next year, 2020, 17 touchdowns and 7 picks. Of course, that was the shortened year where they had only 6 games. I mean, he would have thrown for like 34 touchdowns. And then this past year is when kind of the problems started, and Jackson Dart replaced him. And so it was just kind of I don't know if he was replaced so much because he was doing too poorly. Obviously, they weren't winning too many games. Their coach got fired. There's all that in the background. But it's just the fact that Jackson Dart's pretty good.
Yeah, it just feels like they want a boring quarterback. So that's what you do in the Big Ten West, right? That's where we live. That's what Wisconsin does. That's what Iowa does. Tanner Morgan is kind of that. We want more boring in this division. Maybe Scott Frost has finally looked around the division and say, who's winning this thing? Boring, boring, boring. Worst quarterback, bad quarterback, manager, game manager. Okay, I guess I'll just join them. I'll just join them because that's what everybody's doing in this conference.
For me, if I'm looking for the next Kenny Pickett, and maybe Slovis doesn't have this quite the same type of mobility. I mean, he can move a bit. His career long's a 24-yarder, so he's capable of running. He has legs. He can move a little bit. I would think that he would be one of the top prospects in the portal if you're looking to replicate what he did with Kenny Pickett. Now, of course, the difference is he worked 3 years with Kenny Pickett. He'd have 1 year with Slovis. But if you're looking for that big, that Joe Burrow, Kenny Pickett jump for their final season, I think Slovis is an excellent candidate for that. So, and Nebraska didn't get him again. It's just kind of it was reported that he's down to Arizona, Cal, and Nebraska, and Cal has their quarterback. They had Jack Plummer.
If they get him again, I'll find a way to be excited about it. I'm sure I'll find a reason to like it. But right now, I don't want. Anyway, Sam Keller ruined football. We're talking about the former quarterbacks who had, we're talking about the quarterback discussion. You want a Sam Keller type, and that's probably what you would get with Slovis. Zach Lee, again, a zero threat quarterback. Somebody says on the that's a little mean. He had okay legs. He had okay legs. He was not very good.
Especially when you consider the weaponry around him in 2009, is like Roy Haley, Rex Burkhead. And they should have had they had a decent line like Spencer Long and then Mike McNeil. They had weapons, and that offense couldn't do anything because the quarterback was pretty inept,
and the offensive line wasn't great. They really did not run the football at a high level in the early era of Bo Pelini. Let's see. We've got Sean Callahan on the show today. Excited about, Sean's appearance. And he'll give us, I guess, some updated information on Dakotas Crawford, the newest commit for Nebraska football. They've been really busy when you consider what they've done in the transfer portal and even high school kids. As quickly as this staff has been assembled over the last month, they've made a little noise, still last in the Big Ten, but where could they go in the transfer portal? Where would they go for the quarterback? Do they have a real shot at Keaton Slovish? I think they do, but maybe. Cam Jurgens, what's that mean? All these questions. Mark Whipple is certainly an interesting topic. We'll talk about all of that with Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. This is Tom and Bock.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
Happer and Schaefer.
They don't do the small things. Like, that's the other thing that is really tough with this team specifically, is that while they have talent in some areas, they don't do the stuff that doesn't require talent, which is boxing people out or hustling to get back on defense in transition. Those are things that don't require a star level.
Right.
They're just things you have to do to be competitive.
You need them.
Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. Our holiday gift card special is back. When you purchase a $50 gift card, receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com. beatricebakery.com.
Beatrice Bakery has been serving Nebraska with one-of-a-kind Grandma's fruitcake since 1964. You already know that, but did you know they offer way more than that? You've got to try their line of liqueur cakes, like the strawberry daiquiri cake or the vanilla rum cake. Or what about their breakfast breads, the banana nut bread, or their various streusel coffee cakes? Whatever the occasion, Beatrice Bakery has something for you. Oh yeah, and Grandma's fruitcake? It's still pretty darn good. Beatrice Bakery, located in downtown Beatrice, or always online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Don't forget about your feet this holiday season. Brown Shoe Fit has all the familiar and trendy brands to bring you comfort during the shopping season. And they also make great gifts. From the always popular Sorrel boots to new shoes like Hey Dudes and On Performance shoes, Brown Shoe Fit has it all. It's not just that, though. They have UGG blankets and UGG boots for your significant other or warm Nordic beach coats. That's all at Brown Shoe Fit, 66th and Q.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
Circus Sports is now in Iowa, and when we come to town, we bring the party. Join the Circus Sports team at Barley's Bar in Council Bluffs this Friday. Watch Creighton Villanova meet Circus Derek Stevens, VSiN's Mike Palm, hang with Stephen M. Sipple, and more. And when you download the Circus Sports app, your first drink is on us, and find out how you can leave with exclusive Circus Sports swag. Join Circa at Barley's Bar this Friday night. Circus Sports Iowa. Sports betting the way it should be.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Back to Tom and Bock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sean Callahan should join us moments away. He's not there yet, is he?
No, he's not there.
If Rico could dial him up, that'd be great. Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com to join us. What was your first thought, Adrian Martinez to Kansas State?
I'm happy to see him go there. I mean, it's because it's a drivable distance. Nebraska's got the bye week that we can go down and watch him at play Oklahoma State. You going to come with me?
I would love it. I mean, I am rooting hard for Adrian Martinez. I hope he is Big 12 Player of the Year. This year they're playing LSU in a bowl game.
Yeah.
They had a decent year. I just think I think he'll do really, really well. In that is a league that doesn't really play defense.
It seems like a good fit. And usually Kansas State's good when they have a mobile quarterback. And Skylar Thompson's been mobile, but was kind of beat up this last year, so wasn't able to use his legs as much.
Let's ask Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. Sean, what do you make of Adrian headed to Kansas State? Is that a good fit, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense in a lot of ways. Obviously, for his personal life, I mean, his girlfriend, which, I mean, I'd imagine they've been going out long enough, probably could be his wife someday, is down there, and he's been down there. In fact, before any of this all happened during the season, I remember I've been to Manhattan a lot, and Adrian and I talked about going to Manhattan before because he'd go down there to see his girlfriend, and she'd come up here to see him. It's 2 hours away. And Skylar Thompson was in his final year. Will Hubert, the backup there, has not really been that great. And then, Jake Rubley, their 4-star recruit, has not panned out. So, I mean, even with him coming off shoulder surgery and missing the spring, it's pretty well paved that he's going to be the guy there. And, it's for Kansas State's program. That's about as big of a boost nationally as they've gotten with the addition of a player in a long, long time. I mean, they've not gotten this type of notoriety in a while, and it'll be interesting. I think a lot of people will be curious what he'll bring down there. And I'm sure even the Big 12 as a league and their TV contract is happy because it adds this much more intrigue to some more games having Kansas State led by Adrian Martinez now.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff in the portal. I mean, guys are moving quickly, and that's what's kind of interesting. I mean, Cal jumped on top of Jake Plummer today. Michael Penix is out. Miles Brennan went back to LSU. It kind of there's not kind of all the suitors, or some of them are kind of shrinking, and Nebraska's still out there looking for somebody. And Caden Slovish seems to be the biggest name, at least connected to Nebraska at this point. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think Slovis is probably where you go now. I mean, they had their sights on Hayner from Fresno first, and I think there was something there. But Hayner getting a second transfer waiver would have been really hard to do, and they call it the one-time transfer rule, and he would have had to get a waiver. It wasn't a sure thing, so his options pretty much were stay at Fresno or go pro. And Miles Brennan, I think they were in it. I mean, they visited him, and it went pretty far along. Bill Bush, who had coached at LSU with him, was leading the recruitment, but I got the impression that Brian Kelly has told him, hey, you got a pretty good chance to be my starter. Why don't you just stay here? And he did. So, now you're on to the next logical option, and Slovis makes sense. And we know Mark Whipple has actually already recruited Chubba Purdy as well. So to me, those are the two I'd watch, but Slovis appears to be maybe their top target right now.
Well, Nebraska did pick up a wide receiver commit today to help a guy like Slovis, Dakotas Crawford. He was an LSU commit. Obviously, it was a Mickey Joseph-related flip. How big of a get is this for Nebraska?
Well, you look at the class. Grant Page was committed for quite a while, since June, and he went his own way. And I think it was kind of a mutual parting, and just said, hey, we got a new receivers coach. He's going to get his own guys here, and apologize, but Grant Page ended up going to Colorado, and that left the door open for somebody, and now we know who that somebody is, in Dakotas Crawford. And you talk about talent of receiver down in Louisiana. There's a lot of guys that can play receiver in that part of the country, and LSU can take whoever they want. And for them to take Dakotas Crawford tells you, he's a pretty good player, and I think Mickey Joseph is very confident to get him up to Lincoln.
Would you say that he's one of the, at least for the class, one of the leaders maybe to be able to play right away? Or do you think there are too many guys that are going to help out right away?
Oh, it's so hard to tell anymore. But Jaden Gold, I think, and Singleton are going to have a great opportunity in the secondary, simply based on Nebraska loses 3 of their 4 top players in the back end. So I think those secondary guys is where I lean towards. But receiver is a position where young guys can come in and play. Running backs one. Emmett Johnson, we just don't really know, how he's going to blend into that deal. But typically with running backs, right away if a guy can play. So, yeah, receiver, Victor Jones, too. I'd put him up in that same category.
Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. I'm sure you've had a chance to chat with new offensive coordinator Mark Whipple. He talked about his scheme, but he says it's not really based on a particular offensive scheme, more on what he has available on the roster. And Caden Slovis might change all that. But what did you gather as to what the offense might look like under Mark Whipple?
Yeah, this guy is a professional football coach that knows how to make work what he has. And he's not going to just force something. He's not going to say, I'm going to run this and that's it. I think he's been around enough football and understands the game enough that he's going to build this thing around what makes sense. And you saw what he did at Pitt. I mean, Pat Narduzzi was not an offensive guy. He's a defensive coordinator, head coach, and he took his offense and made it one of the best in the country, and they won the ACC. So, that to me is as impressive as anything. And if you would have told me 2 weeks ago that, hey, Nebraska's going to get the offensive coordinator that ran the entire offense for the ACC champions that sent their quarterback to the Heisman Trophy, I would have said, no way. I mean, so I think it's a really good hire just on the surface when you look at all the factors. But most importantly, he's a guy that you can tell Scott Frost trusts him to run the show so he can kind of step away and run this football team.
And it's interesting as you look at the names they're looking at in the portal or have looked at. They're all kind of pocket passers. Do you think that that's kind of where this is headed toward? I know they're not going to give their hand about what the offense is going to look like, but you have to imagine if they're just only after pocket passers, that's kind of where the offense is going toward more of the Whipple side than the Frost side. And then the other part of that is where does that leave Logan Smothers, particularly if you bring in somebody for that type of offense as far as the quarterback battle goes?
Well, it's just too early. I mean, everyone's already ready to ask if Logan Smothers is transferring. I mean, he could still be the starter, and I think we've got to just let this play out. And I think the data tells you if you let your quarterback get hit in this conference or the SEC, it's just like the NFL. Your guy's not going to make it. I mean, Nebraska's quarterback this year, Adrian Martinez, broke his jaw, suffered a high ankle sprain, and tore his labrum. So, and every other year he also got hurt. He was really hurt at the end of last year, and his sophomore year had to have surgery and was hurt after that year. And his freshman year he missed games. So I do think there's something to it that in this league, if you put your quarterback through, 10 physical runs a game or whatever the number is, that's over 100 carries in a year. That's a lot of carries. Yeah. And you've got to protect that guy. And I think Mark Whipple really believes in protecting his quarterback. And I do think, though, if there's a 3rd and 5 and you can get it, you better get it. Yeah. But, I don't know if having your quarterback carry it 20 times is what they're going to be doing.
Sean Callahan is our guest every Friday, HuskerOnline.com. Of course, Nebraska lost Cam Jurgens, one of their leaders on offense. So somebody's going to have to step up at center, or maybe it's through the portal. But after quarterback, what are Nebraska's biggest needs, do you think?
Well, they've really shored up in the secondary now. I still think Nebraska offensive line is without a doubt where I would lean today. I think they would like to probably get 2 portal guys on the line to go with what they have, because there's about 6 guys that can play, I think, right now, maybe 7. It just depends on how it all plays out. But they need a few more in there to compete with Donovan Raiola to give him what he needs. Clearly, defensive line, they would like at least one more body in there, in my opinion. I think everybody in the country wants a pass rusher in the portal, and everybody in the country would take a 6'2" corner if he was in the portal. It's funny, the same guys Nebraska offers, everybody offers. And there's like an Albany defensive end and an East Tennessee offensive lineman and a Colgate offensive lineman, Cornell, excuse me. And they make these offers, then the same guy will get 20 or 30 of these offers. So it's very much, when you study the portal, it's kind of a copycat deal. The same guys are getting the offers, and then now it's a race to who can get the visits.
Going to the national topic real quick that I wanted to hit on is basically I'm pretty disappointed in the Peach Bowl. Everybody's sitting out. Kenny Pickett's out. Kenneth Walker's out. Obviously, Mark Whipple's moved on. There's a lot of coaching movement during this before the bowl season. Obviously, Notre Dame's going to have a new coach. Oklahoma's going to have a new coach. And I know that stuff has happened in the past, but I mean, are we trending more and more toward a case where the bowl games almost shouldn't count, because that's not going to reflect Pitt or Michigan State's season really at all?
Yeah, we saw last year Florida had a bunch of guys not play. They got drilled by Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. And think about 4 years ago, Scott Frost stuck around to coach the Peach Bowl. And you can agree or disagree if that was the right decision. I mean, it was really, really taxing on him to do. But he was flying cross country to make every one of the bowl practices for Florida, or for Central Florida, for the Peach Bowl, and they treated that like a big game. Auburn treated it like a big game, and it was a big game. But yeah, in 4 years, it's really, really changed. I think that's why you're going to see this playoff expand to 12 teams or 8 teams, whatever the number is. Just because by simply doing that, you secure the historical prevalence of the game, and the history of the game is built on these bowl games and the postseason. And if the best players don't play in these games, it really kind of tarnishes the history of the game.
Yeah.
You just think about great moments like Joe Montana playing in the Cotton Bowl, and just things like that maybe wouldn't have happened. And Ndamukong Suh, like think about in 2009, like would Ndamukong Suh have played in the Holiday Bowl against Arizona now?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
The numbers probably say no. So much, has changed. And it started with Christian McCaffrey. He was the first guy to do it, opted out of the Sun Bowl for Stanford, and it's kind of started a trend from that moment on.
And it makes me think maybe if name, image, and likeness takes off, you can pay guys for playing in the bowl game. Maybe that's a carrot that goes forward. I'm wondering because I'm thinking out loud, basically, Sean, here. I mean, Texas has a $10 million pot for name, image, and likeness. Tom Brady has just attached his name to it and hired out, guys like Cade McNamara to wear his clothes and promote his clothes. Where is this going? I mean, as far as Nebraska is concerned, how much will they benefit going forward from name, image, and likeness?
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, Nebraska's not been as public about things, but and a lot of people have, and that's the thing. I think we're only seeing like 1 out of 100 things happening. There's a lot of things happening with name, image, and likeness that people have no idea about anywhere. And but I can tell you, I mean, Nebraska has done a lot, and volleyball, football, basketball, particularly, have already benefited from it. And it's still in the infancy stages. And I think when you see these big things happening, like the Texas offensive line deal, as a Nebraska person, you're like, we're getting our butt kicked right now in this. And I wouldn't say that's necessarily accurate. We'll see where this all goes. But I do think Nebraska has a lot of money with its supporters being raised up for NIL, and it's going to push $5-6 million within a year. I really believe that from what the things I hear, and we'll see where it's at by that point a year from now. But yeah, it's still very much early on. But every school essentially has formed an organization of their boosters that work together in NIL. And then that's what NIL is essentially. NIL started out as a cool Trey McGowan's Bryce McGowan's podcast and a Machacho's burrito ad.
Right.
It was like, hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
They got a burrito ad, these guys got a couple $100 for this or that. Now NIL is like the richest people that support programs figuring out ways to donate their money to make it legalized NIL earnings.
I mean, everybody's driving a car these days. I mean, a car that is, basically a lease, free lease. It's crazy where it's gone.
There's 4 dealerships, I think, involved in NIL, and there's at least 15 cars out to Nebraska athletes right now. And I mean, but none of that's been advertised. I mean, I don't know the thought on that, but I think we all think, if we're not seeing or hearing the dollar amounts, nothing's happening. But there's stuff happening. I mean, there are athletes getting free apartments now for NIL opportunities, free housing. There's a lot of different things besides just cash payouts.
Yeah.
And but it's all got to be legal too. It's all got to kind of check out through and be reported to the school through their reporting systems, and then the compliance people look at it too. But yeah, there's no slowing this thing down.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you say $6 million in an NIL pot. I mean, just a year ago, would you have guessed that?
No.
Yeah.
But
that's where we are.
If you didn't have something organized like a group, and that's what the major schools are all doing, I mean, it's going to be hard to compete.
Yeah. Great stuff. Sean Callahan, host of the Husker Online Show every Saturday morning. What's going on tomorrow morning at 8?
Well, we'll recap signing day as well. We'll give some final thoughts. Robin Washut and I will also talk Nebraska basketball the week that was and get ready for their showdown against the Kansas State Wildcats on Sunday in Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Great stuff. Sean Callahan.
Also, Travis Vokalek will join me too as we talk more about his decision to come back for a 6th season.
Oh, good deal. Appreciate the time, Sean. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Sean Callahan, host of the Husker Online Show every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com at 8 a.m. Let's get to break. Come back with Rico and the Blog Jock.
You're listening to Tom and Bock. Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Partly cloudy skies here for our Friday. We'll see an afternoon high of around 44. Winds out of the south at around 10. Tonight, partly cloudy with brisk conditions as northwest winds could gust over 20, a low down to 18. Much colder tomorrow. Despite sunshine, we only reach a high of around 28. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lincoln's Mega Liquidation Store is here. Wholesale Logistics is now open on West O Street as a bin store with tons of liquidation pallets, appliances, mattresses, furniture, and more. Brand new mattresses 30 to 60% off retail with well-known brands. New furniture also 30 to 60% off retail value. Brand new LG Scratch and Dent appliances 35 to 40% off retail. Wholesale Logistics purchases truckloads of smaller items from major retailers and throws them into bins, with everything starting at just $8. Get to Wholesale Logistics, open each Friday to Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 2811 West Doe Street.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers says let it snow because a white New Year's Eve could mean free jewelry. Shop from November 24th to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Holiday savings throughout the store. 36 months interest-free financing with approved credit. And remember, shop from November 24th to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. Our holiday gift card special is back. When you purchase a $50 gift card, receive a $5 bonus card. Or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
Circa Sports is now in Iowa, and when we come to town, we bring the party. Join the Circa Sports team at Barley's Bar in Council Bluffs this Friday. Watch Creighton Villanova meet Circa's Derek Stevens, VSiN's Mike Palm, hang with Stephen M. Sipple, and more. And when you download the Circa Sports app, your first drink is on us, and find out how you can leave with exclusive Circa Sports swag. Join Circa at Barley's Bar this Friday night. Circa Sports Iowa. Sports betting the way it should be.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
But why is Nebraska not a hungry program? Why does Michigan come in with hunger? Where's the hunger? Where's the Nebraska doesn't play like a hungry team. Even on its best nights, it doesn't look like a very hungry team. Right?
No.
They're not killers.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're struggling to get motivated to work out, you're not alone, and Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is here to help. Build muscle, burn fat, and lose weight with Farrell's 10-week challenge starting January 8th, all for a chance to win $1,000. Farrell's combines kickboxing with inclusive strength training and nutrition planning to help you stay on track. Go to fxblincoln.com to sign up today. It's the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-week challenge starting January 8th with 2 locations in Lincoln.
Grab yourself a hot dog, pour a glass of eggnog, and settle in. This is the Blog Job on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the time when we do blog and a little bit of jog together with Rico. It is time for the Blog Jog. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Rico Alvarez Clary.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. You're going with the stocking cap today for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I just put it on and I just haven't taken it off.
You've
Now you have hat hair. You
So it's
can't
not a
take it off.
fashion thing because you see a lot of guys just wear a stocking cap in the summertime. Ever done that?
No. Well, no. I had this those like winter hats that have the flaps that like they like go down and you can like clip them and
those
you
are
can,
cool.
clip them over.
I like.
I had one when I was in high school and I wore it during summer track. I called it my lucky hat and it was like 100+ degrees and I had the hat on.
That's
And people were like,
ridiculous.
"Dude, what is your problem?"
Yeah.
Like, it's my lucky hat.
Because you set like 10 state records with that
I won some meets with that hat and then I lost.
You couldn't wear the hat when you were running, though, could you?
No, I wore it when I was warming up and everything. And take it off before I ran.
Is there anything you've ever carried around for good luck, Bock?
No, I've never been too
You never
superstitious.
believed in luck? So you're
No.
the guy that would come right out of the dugout and step right on that line. Yeah, just
disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, I just never
disgusting.
found anything that I necessarily
Baseball
thought
players
was lucky.
Baseball players are really superstitious. The most superstitious of any sport.
I am extremely superstitious.
yeah?
I like when I was doing track, I had to do like the same thing for when I got on the blocks.
Like
when I
eat the
was-
same. Did you eat the same meal? Like
I didn't eat breakfast.
Um,
I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat until I was done with all of my races, which was probably a terrible idea. But I didn't eat at all.
It makes sense to me. It doesn't slow you down. Yeah.
And yeah, I would have to do the same thing before I got in the blocks, the same thing on the runway before I jumped. And if I had a bad race, I would switch like one thing up. And, if that would change something. If I had a good race, I'm like, all right, I'm doing that same thing until I have a bad race.
Like you'd not wear socks that day if you had a bad race, or just something. What would that one thing? Be?
I would I'd wear the same socks. If I had a bad race, I'd change the socks. I had like a certain routine of when I got in the blocks, shaking the legs a certain number of times, moving the arms a certain number of times, or whatever. And it'd have to be the same every single time.
I think swimmers and track stars are very famous for shaking the legs. I don't know that any other sport really does that, but
Yeah.
it's those are both big leg shaking and arm shaking sports.
Yeah, you wake up the muscles. You just shake it.
But why don't you wake
wakes
up the muscles? You just never see a basketball player try to wake up their muscles.
No, they got to lick their shoes or lick their hands.
Lick their
and,
hand
yeah.
and then on their shoes to make sure they get the grip.
They lick their shoes.
They
lick
have
their shoes.
They're superstitious with their free throw routines.
Oh, yeah.
They do the same thing. Katie has this little shoulder shimmy.
Yeah. You got to do the same number of dribbles, and if you flip it, you got to flip it every time. It's got to be the same.
Nate Robinson did that around his waist thing.
Yeah, I tried that too for a while, and then I thought this is just silly. I'm just going to shoot the.
What
free
did
throw.
Jackie Moon do? He touched his forehead, right?
Yeah, some of his headband.
Jackie Moon had a free throw ritual, and he was a granny shot guy.
Yeah,
Jackie Moon.
Yeah, Joakim Noah would just miss his free throws. That was his.
Yeah,
routine.
well,
he would just miss them.
There's that.
It's easier
That's
not
his
to.
routine.
I'll just miss them. That'll
I
be
just
my
miss.
ritual. It is time for the blog jog. Here's Rico.
All righty.
What do you got?
First things first. This one comes from the Guardian. Remember, I think it was you guys a couple months ago or something. I read you a story of a lady that was arrested for trying to hire a hitman.
Yeah.
Well, the person who created the website rentahitman.com.
Sure.
He says so the headline is "Meet the man who accidentally started an assassin hiring website." He hands people over to the police for a while now. He's been doing this since 2005.
Wow,
when
that
he
is a
made
while.
the website. He's like, it was just supposed to be like a catchy name for a website. It says the hit part of it is a nod to the clicks coming in on a client's website. So it's rentahitman.com. So you're renting like the clicks.
So he didn't think that it would actually draw interest.
He did
from
not.
it.
No, he didn't. Apparently, that was not part of his
Didn't consider that
process. And yeah, he's just been turning people over to the police. People keep trying to go on there, email him, and he's like, "This is not what it's for." And they're like, "No, but I really need a hitman." And so he's like, "Okay, well," and then you contact the police and give the information to the people. Or
would it be renting? I mean, you're not really. I mean, I know you're not. I mean, it's not like.
Right.
But buying a hitman, I mean, it's not like you keep him, but that's still, I don't know if it's necessarily renting.
See, I don't think hitman is the worst job because in most cases you're just killing bad people, right?
No, you're killing like somebody's husband.
Well,
because they need
but
to cover-
you could have that. Like he's got to be bad. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like there are probably really good hitman. Like you ever see Grosse Point Blank? A great one of my favorites. He goes back to his high school reunion. It turns out he has to kill his girlfriend's dad, who is a criminal. He's a white collar criminal.
Oh, cool.
But I always think, not all hitmen are the worst. This guy obviously is.
Well, this guy is actually not a hitman. He's
not a hitman.
I mean, this guy's obviously just turning in guys that pretend to be hitmen.
I always find it silly. I mean, how much would you take that risk? Because if you get caught doing it, you're going to jail for a long time.
Right, that seems to be
you
a
can't
big
just
risk.
throw out like $2,000. I need a lot of money.
Well, he so the first time he got one was in 2010. Yeah, 2010. Some lady had emailed him. She was stranded in Canada and wanted somebody to murder her family in the UK. And he was like, he didn't respond. She sent a second email with names, addresses, and everything.
Jeez.
So he was like, do you still require our assistance? And then she sent her like name and address and everything. And then he told the cops.
Yeah, well, there's a reason criminals get arrested. They're usually pretty stupid.
Yeah. And he still has the website, but he fills it with jokes and everything. And he has like a blurb on the front that says, hold on, let me find out what it says. It's the actual Okay. Everyone should know by now that the dark and deep webs are not safe places to shop for your nefarious deeds. There are lots of potentially dangerous sites ripe with viruses, and fraud runs rampant there. Your privacy is not guaranteed, and your information could be leaked to thousands, and including law enforcement, and that's no fun. So he just has a big old blurb right there, and some people are just like, yeah, I need a hitman.
I just like the idea of thinking I need a hitman. Should I Google it?
Rent a hitman.
Yeah. There's no problem with this, right?
Yeah, this seems
nothing bad can
this
happen.
is the way to go.
Yeah.
They're not checking my internet search history. It's fine.
What else you got?
This one comes from phys.org. There are invasive species of fish in the U.S. and Italy and such, and there's a international team of people who want to save those fish, so they are using robot fish to use fear to get rid of the invasive fish.
How do they? They have a scary look.
They
like a Nixon mask on its fish.
They use the fish's what is the word I'm looking for? The other fish that eat them. The predatory fish that eat those fish. They're using robot fish of them
that look like this.
Yeah,
That look
to
like
scare those other fish.
So it is kind of a mask.
Yeah, kind of.
Why don't they just use? I don't know. It just seems like. Why do you have to dress it up like a fish? Why don't you just use a giant? Any sort of robot should go down there and scare them, right? They don't know what it is.
Well, they don't know what it is, but they're not going to be scared of it because they're
they're idiots.
Not biologically known to be scared of that. But if they see through their history and their DNA, it's just like that fish is dangerous. So you see that and you're like, ah.
I would just feel very silly building a robot and going, this is going to scare a fish. That's what I'm doing this for.
That's what we do
We're
right
going
now.
to scare a fish.
Scary robot fish is what we. I mean, that's where we are right now. I do enjoy. In fact, I told you I went to Tampa and my buddy has fish all off the dock and they're big fish.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do I've ever done is to dive and watch fish. They're amazing, and in some cases they're predatory, but they're not interested in eating you unless it's a shark.
They've never bothered you. I went scuba diving before.
Yeah, you can touch them. You can go down. Yeah. You can go down and touch a fish.
But you got to be careful. There might be some jellies down there, jellyfish, right?
That's true. You probably don't want to touch all the fish, but you can. They'll go so close to you that you can easily touch a fish. Or right on the back of a dolphin, which I really want to do.
That would be more exciting, yeah.
I went, not like swimming with dolphins when I was in Florida one time. Yeah. They're like, you can't get too close to them. You're not supposed to touch them. It's illegal, all that. So, we jumped in the water and they swam around us. But they're like, do not touch the dolphins. Yeah. And someone swam beneath us. And I'm sitting there looking at them swim underneath. And I'm still looking down. It's just dark. And I'm like, I wonder what's down there. And then I got really scared, and I went back to the boat really fast.
I would love to swim with the dolphins. That would be on my list. I don't have a list, but as soon as I get one, the dolphins.
As soon as you make a list.
As soon as I make a list.
But they have to, it's not just like a pool. You have to go fast, like in the ocean, right?
Yeah, ski. If you
really
see the guys that ski on them, like at SeaWorld.
Yes.
That's what they do.
That's what we should do.
That's what we'll do. We'll get maybe a mascot. It should be a dolphin. We've talked about other mascots, but I've decided it should be a dolphin.
I want a bear.
Okay. We'll vote on it.
I think a bear would fit more here, the cold weather.
The Christmas party is tonight. We can vote on it there.
Okay, yeah, let's vote on it.
We'll have a vote.
That'll be good. Thank you, Rico.
Hey,
Appreciate
no problem.
it. Let's get to break. Box tops today. What is the category?
Well, you mentioned the Christmas parties tonight, so we're going to do top 10 Christmas gifts of all time.
Of yours or gifts that you've given? How is this going to just top 10 gifts? All right.
Well, I mean, I suppose it can be of mine. I've gotten most of these gifts.
All right. Box top 10 Christmas gifts is coming up on Box Tops.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. This is Tom and Bock.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers says let it snow because a white New Year's Eve could mean free jewelry. Shop from November 24th to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Holiday savings throughout the store. 36 months interest-free financing with approved credit. And remember, shop from November 24th to December 24th, and if it snows 3 inches or more on New Year's Eve, your purchase is free. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. Our holiday gift card special is back. When you purchase a $50 gift card, receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, Cactus, and all Lincoln Good Sense subs. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Every time we make the choice to drive, we're making a choice that could have life or death consequences. Friedman Law Offices has proudly sponsored our holiday taxi service for 30 years. This year, we're proud to partner with Z-Trip to keep Lincoln's streets safer. Between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. from December 15th to New Year's Day, you can get a free ride home if you've had too much to drink. Just call 402-474-SAFE or click Let Friedman Drive at friedmanlaw.com. Friedman Law Offices. Helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
Circus Sports is now in Iowa, and when we come to town, we bring the party. Join the Circus Sports team at Barley's Bar in Council Bluffs this Friday. Watch Creighton Villanova meet Circus Derek Stevens, VSiN's Mike Palm, hang with Stephen M. Sipple, and more. And when you download the Circus Sports app, your first drink is on us, and find out how you can leave with exclusive Circus Sports swag. Join Circa at Barley's Bar this Friday night. Circus Sports Iowa. Sports betting the way it should be.
If you're struggling to get motivated to work out, you're not alone, and Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is here to help. Build muscle, burn fat, and lose weight with Farrell's 10-week challenge starting January 8th, all for a chance to win $1,000. Farrell's combines kickboxing with inclusive strength training and nutrition planning to help you stay on track. Go to fxblincoln.com to sign up today. It's the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-week challenge starting January 8th with 2 locations in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is Tom and Bock, coming at you live from Coppell Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Tom Stevens.
I think today is probably overall the best practice I've been a part of at Nebraska.
Jake Bockoven.
I think we had our best week of practice ever again. So if our goal is to get better day by day, it's been a good week.
Tom and Bock starts now.
Tom and Bock on a Friday. Tom Stevens here, Jake Bockoven there. I'm guessing you stayed up for Husker volleyball. So were you flicking back and forth between that and the Chiefs game last night? They beat, of course, the LA Chargers in overtime, 34-28.
Yeah, it was, and it's. I think the game almost. I had to try to remember exactly, but I think the game might have ended before the Nebraska game even started.
Did it really?
It was so
That's
late.
right. It was a late starting game. I thought that when I was watching the Wisconsin game early with Louisville, and that was a great game. That went 5 sets. So that was part of the reason Nebraska started so late. But that was fun to watch. But I was flicking back and forth between that and Kansas City with the LA Chargers. Kansas City ended up winning that game. They tied the game, first of all, with a 7-yard throw. Mahomes, I believe that was to Kelsey, with 1:16 left to go in the game. And then Mahomes throws the pass in overtime to Kelsey, and he wins in a walk-off. They win in a walk-off, again, 34-28 last night. And Kansas City's now won 7 in a row. Are they your Super Bowl team? Because it feels like maybe they are. They're the best team in the East. They're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah. I mean, they're right up there. I mean, the Patriots also have a 7-game winning streak, so that's worth noting. But there's nobody overwhelming in the AFC, so they certainly got to be up there. The Chargers, they've got to be up there too. I mean, the Chargers looked like the better team. They just didn't finish on a lot of their opportunities last night. And of course, they did beat the Chiefs earlier in the season. So it's kind of interesting. Travis Kelsey went off a career high 191 yards. It's always kind of fun to see him, especially the game winning one. He kind of like snuck by and wiggled his way into the end zone. I think he was surprised he made it.
He's 32. I mean, that's all people are talking about today. Wow, look at the old man. He can still play. He's always been able to play. It wasn't like, I mean, I think he had a 119-yard performance against the Raiders. It's not like he's had a terrible season, but I guess everybody's calling him the old man, but he had a career night. 192 yards, couple TDs for Travis Kelsey, the tight end that we thought we'd see this year. But the whole Chiefs offense has been a little bit off last night. But and even Mahomes, even with the 410 yards, it doesn't quite look like the Mahomes of the past yet. Maybe he's getting closer because that was a big night and a big win. You mentioned the Chargers several times, not only in the, inside the 10, they were inside the 5, and it's 4th down and they're going for it. They did it 3 separate times last night.
Yeah.
Instead of just kicking the field goal. I understand analytics have kind of taken over the game. The Chiefs did it as well. They went for a 4th down that didn't work for them as well. It just feels like if anybody's in the red zone, especially inside the 10-yard line, they're just going to go for it these days.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make the opponent drive all the way, 90 plus yards to get into your end zone. So I get it. I get the idea. And I've defended Scott Frost when he did that against Michigan. I thought it was a good idea. But at a certain point, I feel, maybe at that point you're chasing points because the Chargers just kept doing it. They had a chance before the half to even just take a field goal to extend their lead, and
they've been up 20-10, something like that.
Any one of those field goals would have obviously won that game because it went to overtime.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I think there's definitely a place for analytics, and it was 4th and 2 on a couple of those occasions, and I get that. It's worked out well for them, and one of those, it should have been caught. I know Cook had it in his hands. All he had to do was catch the ball, and he took his eye off it. But that's what happens sometimes is, it doesn't matter whose fault it is or if you usually do it. When you get down there 3 separate times, you kick just one field goal, as you mentioned, you win the game. Maybe it was the right decision because you never know if you're going to get down there again. But it was an interesting game. It was certainly hyped up in Kansas City, now 9-4. As you mentioned, the Patriots have also won 7 in a row. They're 9-4. I just think Kansas City's the best team in the NFL because they have the most proven players and their defense is playing really well. And they haven't been completely healthy even as of late. You see, Tiger is playing golf this weekend, the PNC Championship with his son, Charlie. It's the father-son challenge. Will you check it out at all?
I don't think so. What's the prize for that one?
I don't know. $3. It's not that Tiger needs any prize money,
right?
But it's a chance to see.
That just
Tiger.
Sounds kind of odd.
It's a thing they do every year, and you don't have to necessarily grab your son. It could be your son-in-law. It could be a family relative. Anybody can play golf in the family. It can be the daughter. It could be your daughter. So I don't even know if it's called the father-son challenge anymore. Because that's probably not politically correct.
Right.
But it's basically a pro golfer and a relative. And I think it's kind of entertaining because sometimes you see the relative play better than the pro golfer, and it's a little embarrassing. That does.
Are you going to check it? Is it like televised?
Yeah, they televised it last year, and Sam's this cute little kid, his son. I think he was 10. He's got to be 11 now. He was like 10 last year, and he hits it a mile. He's a little short, tiny kid who can just drive it out there about 250, which is really impressive. And he's got a great short game, and he was carrying Tiger at times.
Nice.
Last time. So it's a fun thing to watch and kind of a family affair type thing.
And
so,
you wonder if you're going to see Tiger outside of events like that. Do you think so?
I think he'll play, and he's mentioned this. He's gonna be like Van Hogan, when he came back from the car crash, that he would play in certain events or play in majors and just go to that course and practice all the time and get your game ready for that particular event. He'll play selected events. I'm sure he'll play, like he wasn't in the Heroes Challenge, his event this year, but I'm assuming he will be.
If he plays in majors, that's awesome.
Yeah. And he's designed so many golf courses that he's asked to appear at tournaments, and I'm sure he'll play in certain events like that. He'll play.
Yeah.
It's just so he won't have a schedule that probably goes any more than a couple events in a month. I could see him doing that. But it was close to, having that thing amputated at one point. His leg, that car crash, it's amazing he survived in that crash. And to now be to the point where he's even playing golf with his son is, kind of cool. So it's a media thing. So I thought, it was one of the big discussions on talk radio. Well, not a big discussion, but sports talk radio. It's been discussed nationally, and ESPN did a story on it. So
Corey in Lincoln describes it as PGA Bring Your Kid to Work Day.
Yeah, that's what it is. Bring your daughter, your son, any relative to work.
Yeah.
John Daly is actually very fun. His son looks exactly like him, and they're really good. I think they've they finished top 5. I think in the past.
Is there an age restriction?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think there's it's that would be ageist.
You can bring your adult son to come play.
You can bring your adult son. They definitely do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they do that all the time. Are you ready for box tops?
I'm ready.
Okay, because I'm kind of excited about this topic. Here we go.
All right, this is the top 10 Christmas gifts. Not necessarily that I've received, but I've received several of them. Just kind of reminds me of Christmas, the type of gifts.
This is interesting. What's in Bock's head as far as great Christmas gifts?
Yeah.
Give me a clue as to what you might be getting or giving.
Yeah. Number 1 on my list is fake coal or just candy in general, but specifically fake coal. Did you ever get fake coal as a kid?
No. I mean, you really got fake coal.
Yeah, but it was like candy.
And what's it taste like? Is it licorice?
I think it's like gum, or maybe, I can't remember. Maybe it is just like candy that you just chew up and swallow. But I don't know. It's kind of, I always liked that kind of joke. Well, you're a bad kid. Here's some fake coal.
You're going to get coal.
Yeah, and then, it's candy. That's all right.
Ah, that's funny.
It's a joke.
I could eat it. This is delicious. Okay.
I don't think, if I remember correctly, it doesn't.
Would that be in your stocking? Coal in your stocking?
Yeah, stocking. Yeah, it's a good.
Would you also get, say, like I got the dental floss and a toothbrush sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
Did you always get toothbrush?
Yeah, I've got a toothbrush before, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, you know you're going to eat too much candy as a kid at that point in time.
That's probably true.
Nobody flosses, though, so I
Will
never
you
get
put
a floss.
coal in your kid's stocking at some point?
I think at some point I will. I think, pass on the tradition. It's kind of fun.
That's good.
Number 9 on my list, how about gift cards or gas cards? I particularly, as I got older, especially like 16, 17, I would just ask for like gas cards so I didn't have to pay for gas. But in general, you know, some people look down on gift cards, think you don't.
You didn't give much thought to that,
you didn't
did you?
think. But really, I mean, go buy some for yourself. Have fun and go shop.
Ron used to always give us, Ron Romero used to always give us like Valentino's $100 gift
Yeah,
card.
that was awesome.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. I love gift cards because, you know, there's probably a few places that I wouldn't love it from, but mostly it's free money.
I did get a gift. I shouldn't say this, but I did get a gift card for Bed Bath & Beyond that I kept for like 3 years because every time I'd go in there, I'd just like, I don't think so. I don't want anything in the store.
So did you finally give it? Did you spend any? Did you spend that?
I'm not sure what happened to the end of that. I just remember for years I had that in my wallet. And I went several times, like knowing that I could get something.
Probably could have sold it to somebody around here with a wife.
Yeah, there's just something there.
Hey,
for
I'll
me.
give you $50 worth. 50 for 100.
Yeah.
You could have.
I should have done a swap.
You should have done a swap.
Number 8 on my list, one that you would hate as a kid, but certainly you like as an adult: socks or underwear.
You like socks?
Oh, I love the new sock feeling. It doesn't get much better than that.
So it's like the new car smell. There's a new sock feeling.
Yeah, you don't get the new feeling of new socks never worn before.
I was the guy that would wear them until the elastic was just like they were falling, they were drooping down. Now Heidi, like if she sees my socks are more than 3 days old, like she'll throw them out, and I don't know where they go. Maybe she doesn't throw them out. Maybe she gives them to people who don't have as many socks as I.
The less fortunate sock people.
I think there's a whole group like that.
Yeah.
But I'm very wealthy when it comes to socks.
Yeah. I've tried to get rid of socks. It seems like I try to get rid of these socks. Whenever there's a hole in the sock, I throw it away. And then there's always another sock with holes in them.
Right.
I don't know where they keep coming from.
Did you ever know, like I had to grow up with my brother, and he would get the new underwear, but he would wear the old underwear. Like until they were like ripped or something.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not going to use them yet. I mean, these are still good. No, they're not good. No, they're not good.
No, like I said, with socks, underwear, clothes in general, just that new clothes feel is pretty good. New socks in particular. Number 7 on my list, this might be a little outdated, but it was big for me growing up, an iPod or some type of MP3 player. That was very cool for a long time.
Yeah, I had an iPod.
Yeah.
I had a cassette
or a
player.
CD player, cassette, yeah, back in the day.
Oh yeah, and the tape, they would always get caught in there, and
Yeah.
you had to pull them out, and they like
ruin it.
Yeah, you'd spend a good $3 on those things, and it was blown to hell.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean everything's obviously on your phone now. Do they still have MP3 players? I mean, people still like
I'm
wear
sure
them
they
to work
exist somewhere. I don't know anybody using them.
Yeah, I don't think so anymore. Maybe iPads. iPads are cool. Kids still like those.
Yeah, you see iPads still around.
Yeah. So maybe I'll switch iPod to iPad. Number 6 on my list. How about the latest video game or video game system? Kids are always very excited if they can get the new video game system. And of course, like the PS5, the new Xbox, they're very hard to get. At least one or the other one is. I'm not quite up to date on which one, but so several people would be very excited about that. For me, it's just the latest video game, though. As a kid, I'd always ask for one. My favorite one when I was a kid was Madden 2000. In the year 2000, I got a video game and started my
back when Madden was actually alive.
Yeah, Madden was actually calling games at that time.
You know, people, I'm guessing there's a lot of kids that played Madden that have no idea who John Madden is.
Right. I'm sure there are.
I mean,
why would they really?
I mean, why would they know? But
yeah.
I mean, once you dig into his life, hey, that's the greatest announcer and a pretty good football coach, but the greatest color announcer of all time.
It is kind of weird how that game specifically kind of stuck with the name, because they would do that in the 90s and stuff. Like, you know, you'd have different guys, college football game. I think even, what was it? The Stanford coach had one, the old 49ers coach. And so, I mean, but that never ever stuck except for Madden, because I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
But that's pretty cool. Yeah. Madden 2000 was one of my favorite games.
You ever had Space Invaders? You ever play?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was one of my first video games.
Did you get it for Christmas?
Oh, yeah. and played it nonstop. It was great. Before that, the first game that I remember, it was just called Pong.
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty fun game, too.
Yeah, it takes some dexterity. It's not easy.
Did you get Pong as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Atari at that time.
That's right.
It was Atari that you could play. It was the first. I think it was the very first video game.
Yeah, very cool stuff, though. Number 5 on my list, how about, you did socks and underwear, but how about just clothes in general to show off at school? The days after Christmas, the return from Christmas break, everybody had the coolest clothes. They were wearing their new clothes.
Or they were forced to wear them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that thing where you go to the bathroom. Hey, no, you have to wear your new outfit. I want everybody to see the new outfit. And you go to the bathroom and just change at school.
It was awesome. One year, my mom, for my brother, he liked Pokemon. And I think it was Pokemon. I might be getting the exact confused, but he liked Pokemon. And so he ran out Christmas morning, and my mom thought that she got him a bunch of Pokemon clothes, but it was actually a bunch of My Little Pony clothes. And you just sound like, thanks.
But either are pretty dorky. It doesn't really matter.
Well, but it's a big difference. There's a big difference.
My Little Pony or Pokemon? Yeah, I feel if you make me pick between the two, I'm probably going with Pokemon.
One's more childish than the other. One's kind of more of a collector's type of thing. Number 4 on my list, for me, it was a scooter. I also had a bike, but a bike or a scooter, or that new big toy. That was your big item that you were getting for the year.
Yeah. I remember getting a bicycle. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to hide it, so it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those gifts that the kids are in bed. Let's bring out the big gifts, and you just park it there. You don't even wrap it. You just put a ribbon on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one. I think it was a Ninja Turtles bike. It was very cool.
Ninja Turtles bike.
Yeah, back when I still needed those little wheels. What are those called? The training wheels in the back?
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also the scooters. Scooters when I was growing up in the 90s, that was cool.
For us, it was a big wheel.
Yes.
The big wheel. And you have races. Everybody on the block had a big wheel. Unless you just didn't, Santa doesn't come to your house.
Well, that happens.
That happens sometimes as well.
One of my favorite gifts of all time, and number 3 on my list, was electric football. Did you ever get an electric football set?
I loved electric football. The problem with it was they had a cotton football. The football was made of cotton, and but that wasn't the problem. It would move the players through vibration.
Right.
The thing would just vibrate, and sometimes you would get a 90-yard run, and then they would get to the 1-yard line and start circling back the other way. So it was a rather frustrating game, but some people had a talent for it. I mean, if you organize your men properly with the proper vibrations going, you can win.
It was maddening to ever play that game. My friend and his dad did, and they played like a full game, and it was like 3-2 at the end of the game, or whatever it was. It was hard to score. Like you said, guys keep turning around. Passing was almost impossible. You'd have to like pause it and
it
kind of fling it.
It was a really frustrating game.
Yeah, but I really liked it because I would like it. I got all the players, and then I had the rosters, and I would put the numbers on them, and so it was kind of cool to do that.
Well, it's amazing that you remember electric football. Do you remember Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
Yes, I should have put that on this list actually too.
I
That
love
was awesome.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
That's cool to this day. You can be competitive with those.
You punch their head and it just pops up.
Yeah,
and then the other guy wins. As soon as your guy's head pops out, then you lose.
Good addition to the list. How about number 2 on my list? I've never had it happen to me before, but I see it in commercials all the time. How about a new car with a bow on it? That's pretty good for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it done in commercials. It's never happened to me.
Has it happened to anybody you've known?
Yeah,
it can happen. It's possible.
I mean, it's crazy money. I mean, you're talking about, so you better have some money, obviously, if you're getting somebody a new car for Christmas. But yeah, I've known people that have done that.
I like that. I like that commercial. They had it a couple years ago where it was like he bought 2 new cars for his wife, and the wife goes, "I want the red one." He's like, "Well, no, that's fine. I want the red one." He goes, "Okay."
Yeah, that's right.
Like you bought 2 new cars. You can't just be bullied into having the car you don't want.
So you're really mad about that commercial?
I am mad about that commercial because everybody else dreams of this moment to get one of these cars on a ribbon. It's been shown on you to commercials for years, and only 1 or 2% of the population, whatever, will ever have it happen. She has it happen. She goes, "I don't want my car. I want your car."
That's right. She's very ungrateful. He's bought 2 cars for Christmas. One is his, one is hers. He already selected his car. He's probably driven it several times.
Yeah.
And yet she takes his car because she likes the color better. It's
How ungrateful.
You're right. I'm angry about that. I'm really angry about that.
I did. My buddy and for his girlfriend, we bought. I just pitched in a few bucks, but for the most part, he bought like a used car and did that. It was kind of fun, but it wasn't quite the same.
Yeah, my sister's in the 70s. It was like it was a 70s car. This was in the 80s. Opel Cadet, an Opel Cadet. My dad bought for my sister's.
I don't even know what that
$100.
is.
I think it was $100.
Is that a car?
It was a stick. It was a stick.
Oh,
shift.
okay,
Yeah,
it's a stick
it was a
shift car.
terrible car.
I've never
and
heard
it
of
was
that
probably not even road safe, but they drove it for years, and then I got it, and it was very not road safe at that point.
Yeah, but you got to drive until they die, I suppose. Number one on the list, of course, is given to most of everybody, but not everybody. But the time off of work. That's the best gift of all, isn't it? Not necessarily time with the family. You can decide how you divvy your time out, but you get a few days off usually to take time off and celebrate.
I think you're going soft on me. That's number one. That's the best gift.
You don't think that's what time off of work? That's a great gift. That doesn't happen all year
How's
round.
that better than Rock'em Sock'em Robots? It's not even close. But it's not. I like the sentiment, Bob. I really like the sentiment. I liked volleyball last night. That was awesome. Nebraska wins over Pittsburgh in 4 sets after getting dominated in the very first set. But they come back and win the next 3. It's fun to watch Nebraska volleyball. It actually gives you hope of what other programs at the University of Nebraska could be by watching them. Now they play Wisconsin tomorrow night, 6:15 on ESPN2 for the national title, a team that's beat them, the last 2 times and actually several times when you're going back to just the spring in volleyball. Nebraska struggled with that team, but they are hot. Probably the hottest team in college volleyball. Playing another Big Ten opponent that they've had very little success with. But we'll talk a lot about it. Tomorrow night's match and last night's match with Tanya Taki, former Husker volleyball great. We'll do it next.
You're listening to Tom and Bock. Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch.
If you're struggling to get motivated to work out, you're not alone, and Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is here to help. Build muscle, burn fat, and lose weight with Farrell's 10-week challenge starting January 8th, all for a chance to win $1,000. Farrell's combines kickboxing with inclusive strength training and nutrition planning to help you stay on track. Go to fxblincoln.com to sign up today. It's the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-week challenge starting January 8th with 2 locations in Lincoln.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. This Saturday's morning match features Man U against Man City at 7:30, Chelsea at Burnley, as well as Brentford at Norwich City at 10, and an afternoon match of Brighton and Newcastle at 12:30. On Sunday morning, there's 3 8 o'clock matches with Everton taking on Tottenham, Leicester City hosting Leeds United, and Arsenal and Watford, with Liverpool hosting West Ham at 10:30. All at McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
Starting the right career is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You want to enjoy your career, be challenged, have fun, earn a great weekly paycheck, and work for a great company. If you're looking for a career change or right out of high school, the John Henry's Plumbing Apprentice Program may be the perfect answer. You'll get paid while getting hands-on training. We focus on your skills while you engage in real-world learning. Why not join the John Henry's team today? Apply at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating it in.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Circa Sports is now in Iowa. Download the app to get the world's largest sports book in the palm of your hands. With the highest limits and lowest holds backed by the best customer service in the game, you'll quickly realize why Circa Sports is where the pros play. Download the app today, anywhere in Iowa, and join us at Barley's Bar in Council Bluffs this Friday for the Creighton-Villanova Game Watch. Sports betting the way it should be. Visit circasports.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Partly cloudy skies here for our Friday. We'll see an afternoon high of around 44. Winds out of the south at around 10. Tonight, partly cloudy with brisk conditions as northwest winds could gust over 20, a low down to 18. Much colder tomorrow. Despite sunshine, we only reach a high of around 28. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus will be at the Icebox this Friday as the Stars take on the Sioux Falls Stampede. Come rock the box as the Stars wrap up a 5-game homestand. Puck drops at 7:05. Get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com.
Back to Tom and Bock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
People are giving me crap about the Opel Cadet on the text line, 464-5685, Sutter Heyman text line, on the Lincoln hotline as well. Yeah, it's what my dad, he bought for my sisters, an Opel Cadet. It was like a 76, 77. Did you look it up?
I did. It looks kind of cool. I mean, it looks like about what I expected.
Like a piece of crap car. It was a stick. It was a stick shift. So I learned to drive a stick shift at that particular time.
I don't know how to drive a stick shift, even still. Never had to.
You're not missing anything. I mean, it was kind of. I just like the idea of.
Like you're more in charge.
Feeling like Mario Andretti, even though you couldn't drive very fast in an Opel Cadet. That's for sure. I don't think it went past 50 miles an hour. But my first regular car, my parents actually bought me a Honda Civic, brand new 83 Honda
nice.
Civic, and that was a nice car.
Yeah,
black, sleek, stick shift. But I still wasn't. You thought I would have been better at driving a stick than I was. You grind the gears, and ultimately the clutch goes, and that's really expensive.
What's your bet? Is that your favorite car you ever had?
Good point. Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
I remember four guys going to Padre Island in my Honda Civic.
How'd you make it to an island?
Well, you drive there. It's near Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas. You've never heard of Padre? It's kind of a famous spring break joint.
Can you? What I'm saying is, can you get to the island?
You can,
like over a bridge. Is this how you get to this island?
It's a bridge thing.
Oh, okay.
And it's a big party destination for spring breakers, and we went several times. And it's like an 18-hour drive, and four guys in a Honda Civic.
Yeah,
driving comfortably down the highway. Doing things. So it was fun. Those were great times. But that was my first car. Do you remember your first car?
Yeah, my first car was a 1990 Ford Thunderbird, which sounds cool, but it had a bra in it, so it wasn't very cool.
That's what first cars are. I mean, they're special to you,
yeah,
I guess. But the Opel Cadet, I guess, was technically my first car, but it was my sister's, and it was just a hand-me-down. And it was really a piece of crap car. It was terrible.
That's how your first car is supposed to be. That's when you're learning to drive.
We should get to Tanya Taki. She is with us, and I guess stranded at the airport.
We are right now, but I'm looking hopeful. We're trying to get to Vegas for my birthday. So
that would be your birthday. That's fantastic. Where are you staying?
Well, we're staying at the Flamingo, and I'm putting my money on the Huskers.
Nice.
For tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's right. You could bet on that. Nebraska versus Wisconsin after Nebraska gets by in a 4-set win last night. It didn't look good after set number 1 falling to Pittsburgh. They looked like they were on their game. That is Pittsburgh. What happened? What changed after set number 1 in your mind?
I think they just came out really fast, and I think, Lauren Stivrins and Nicklin Hames were just talking about how they were just a little caught off guard with how fast they are, and I think they just had to just experience it to know what to do next, and then just trust that they were big enough, fast enough, strong enough to make something happen on their end. And it was just a lot of trust, I just felt like. And then the tides kind of turned. We blocked a couple balls, we got a couple digs, and then all of a sudden they're making errors, and we're now, more evenly matched.
You saw a lot of big swings from Pittsburgh, and they're a very athletic team. And John Cook said, we just got to get back. He says this all the time. We got to get back to playing Nebraska volleyball. In your mind, what does that mean when he's saying getting back to Nebraska volleyball?
Yeah, so I think what he means when he says that is just when we start digging balls and when we serve tough and they aren't able to hit their, we call it the All-American shot, where, everybody has their All-American shot, the one that's going to be on the highlight reels. And if they're not able to hit those All-American shots, then it starts to even the playing field a little bit. And so I think that's what he means by playing Nebraska volleyball, is just doing what we need to do to interfere with what they're trying to do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Nebraska, of course, we didn't see this coming. I don't know if anybody really saw this coming. Of course, last weekend, we all watched it, Nebraska going on the road in Austin to the second-seeded Longhorns and taking them on their home court. And then they get in the Final Four. Pittsburgh, maybe not a big surprise, but how surprised are you that Nebraska is now playing for the national title?
I think Coach Cook is talking about how, it was a tough, preseason, really tough road in the Big Ten. And he just kind of made some comments about how maybe he didn't coach the way he wanted to, or that looking back on it, he could have done better. But I think he just had a very unique situation with players coming in, players staying, and how to manage all that. And props to the girls who didn't get their starting spots or didn't get to keep their spots, and they still maintained that level of, hey, I'm in it together, let's make this happen, and just having that attitude. And that comes from the top, and just believing in everybody, and anybody can show up and get 10 kills for the Huskers. If it's Lowenstein, if it's Krause, we just don't ever know who's going to show up. And when you have a freshman team like this, you just don't know.
It has been crazy. You mentioned the three new freshmen. You had Krause, you had Batenhorst, who have still been playing a lot. Of course, Lexi Rodriguez is a first-team All-American, the first time since Sarah Pavin did it way back when. I didn't know that I saw this coming, especially with Lexi's son in the starting lineup, then out of the starting lineup. What do you think brought this chemistry together? What happened? What clicked for Nebraska?
Right. We're talking about bringing in 6 freshmen. That's just a challenge the way it is. And then you have 3 of them on the court all the time. Lexi Rodriguez playing out of her mind almost all season. When I heard that Knuckles was losing her starting spot to a freshman, I was like, wow, that's really going to hurt the dynamic of the Huskers. But I think what really it comes down to, too, is that we were just ranked really low. To be finished second in the Big Ten and we were ranked, number 10 coming into this tournament, I just feel like that was a really low seed, a really low ranking for us. We were, 2 points away from being right there with Wisconsin, and then to put us 10, and then we beat Purdue twice and they were 6. So I would say, we played, our best volleyball towards the end, and we didn't get that, nod from the NCAA to be higher than 10. But I would say we played as a top 10 team all year. We finished stronger. We just didn't get that ranking and that seed going into the tournament.
And Wisconsin, they're playing a team, I think, that has 6 super seniors that play a lot for the Badgers. Nebraska has a couple, but Lexi's son is not playing a lot. But talk about her a little bit, Tanya, because she's been a great teammate when she could have very easily tuned out the rest of the team.
Right. And I think the presence of Lexi's son to say, hey, I'm going to try this again and give it my 5th year, and I want to be part of this. And then, her leadership, and also, having Batenhorst not get to play when she's not playing great is a great option. It takes, a season or so for a freshman to really understand, how this is going to go for me, how you have to do it every single day. It's a grind. You have school, you have traveling. There's a lot going on as a freshman. So I think that's great that we had another option. Batenhorst, I guess we just needed to go down to Texas more often. You play at home in front of your home, your home state. And that just lit a fire under her. She just stopped making errors. She was hitting high. She was, trusting her sets, trusting her teammates, trusting her timing. And it's been great to see that happen. So a lot of that has to do with the seniors and Lexi's son, and just all the girls who had to maybe take a step aside. Even Kinsey Knuckles had to take a step aside to not be the libero on the team. So I just think, like I said, just understanding your role, believing in your coaches, that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and we're seeing a really bright light.
Nebraska just played a big physical team in Texas than they did against Pittsburgh that take a lot of big swings. They're going to see another team like that Saturday night in Wisconsin. I know they've lost a couple against Wisconsin this year. They've not had great success against Wisconsin for quite a while. How do they match up this time around, knowing that the team has changed since the last time they met?
Right. Well, and then the crazy thing is that it wasn't a year ago that we played Wisconsin. We just played them like 8 months ago. So in the last 12 months, how many times have we lost to Wisconsin? So, I mean, I think we draw the line. Let's draw the line at 5. Like, we will not lose 5 times in a calendar year, like, or whatever the number is going to end up being. I don't know. I just think Wisconsin is just one of those teams, those super teams. And I think being 6'8" and 6'9" out there on the block, that can be a very, very strong team to be playing against, and it's exciting to see what our team now can do. I mean, can we hit over a 6'8", 6'9" block? Can we use the block? Can we cover our hitters? Can we play with trust and belief when we're playing up against those girls? And so I think it's going to be a challenge, and we had nothing to lose. Like, we're supposed to lose this game. We were supposed to lose last game. We were supposed to lose the game before that. So, I mean, we just have to go out and do the best we can, and Natty just has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it certainly would. First one since 2017 with a very similar team. It's interesting the way we talk about Nebraska volleyball and what they do. Of course, they dig at a high level. Their block is very good, but they also take shots that not a lot of teams always do. There's a lot of finesse and the ability to use the block. Is that something that you've noticed a lot with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've gotten to the point where we're being like smart, but we're also trusting. I think we've heard Kubik talk all season about how, she feels bulletproof because she trusts her team. She knows the set's going to be there, and she knows that if she takes a big swing, there's a big cover. They've been working on, obviously we've been playing humongous teams, and so being able to use, their hands. She talked about breaking fingers last night. I mean, that's a great analysis for her to just go out and be like, that's what I'm going to do with this ball. They're big, but my hit can be stronger. Yeah. And so I think they're hitting some great shots. And then Allie Batenhorst, she's keeping some balls in play. She's not making errors. And yeah, they might not be straight down kills like some of the other teams are playing, but her shots are keeping the ball in play. And then we're coming back with a huge block, and that's how we ended the game last night.
Since they've gone to the seeding process, I think that was in 2000. Only one team has won a national title. I think that was Stanford in 2004. Nebraska could be the second as a 10 seed or lower. Only 2 or 1 have done it, and Nebraska could be the second. This would be John Cook's best coaching job, right?
I mean, I know that Danny Buston was a coach of the year, and I want her to be coach of the year, and everybody's rooting for her to be coach of the year. But I think like we talked about with the different dynamics, the 6 freshmen coming in plus 2 seniors not leaving, just that whole dynamic, Coach Cook has, and, somehow gotten to this point. And, I've talked all season about how it's hard to be a fan when you have, these different changes, and are we trusting freshmen? Are we giving Lexi Sun another chance? Like, it's hard to sit back and watch, and we're watching Stanford and we're losing to Stanford and Sun's on the bench, and can't we do something different, and all of those things that we question all season. But I mean, there was a reason for what he was trying to get accomplished. And, it's a long season, it's a long grind. And then you have this NCAA tournament to finish out the season. And they just have that vision of how it's going to look. And whoever's, shooting on all cylinders by the end is going to be playing. So props to the coaching staff for keeping a lot of personalities, a lot of role playing, a lot of those things going for this long to believe that they can do what they're doing right now.
Nebraska versus Wisconsin in Columbus, Ohio, Saturday night, tomorrow night at 6:15 on ESPN2. You say if you do get to Vegas, and hopefully you do, I know the flight's being delayed right now, how much you putting on Nebraska?
I think I'm just going to put like my coffee money on Nebraska. I mean, I want my money to be on Nebraska, but Wisconsin's probably the winning bet, but I think it's just more like I'm putting my money on the Huskers and just believing in what they have going on. And if we lose, we lose. Like, let's just put it out there.
Yep. That it should be fun. Thanks for the time all season long. It's been fun
It has been so fun.
yeah.
I've had a lot of people say, "Hey, I heard you on the ticket. I didn't even know you guys existed until this year, and
Well,
now I got my new car program to it."
There you go. Thanks a lot. Didn't even know you guys existed.
I didn't. Isn't that terrible?
Well, now,
But, I mean, all the farmers around me. I live in First, Nebraska now, so all the farmers have their sports fix from the ticket, and so
there you
I hear
go.
a lot about it.
well, you found your new home,
There you
93.7
go.
The Ticket. And we'd love to have you back again for sure next year. And whenever we want to talk about Husker volleyball, we'll certainly bring you on. What's going on at Nebraska 1 these days?
You know, we had a huge watch party last night and had a great time with our girls and just trying to keep them inspired to work hard and do, great things.
Yep.
Our coaches were talking about, like, it's fun when we're sitting with coaches and we're talking to the TV and coaching the TV, and they're like, we need a T-shirt that says "One team, one dream, one path."
Oh, I like
So
that.
I'm like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that.
That's fun. That's fantastic. Tanya, it's been fun all season long. Have fun in Vegas if you make it.
Thanks. Go Big Red.
There you go. And she'll be back. We'll discuss the final match.
Yeah.
There's still one more match, Nebraska, Wisconsin, tomorrow night, ESPN2, for the national title. That's fun to say. I never thought I really would be saying that when they lost 3 straight earlier this season, but it's a fun time to be a Nebraska volleyball fan. But when isn't it a good time to be
That's
a Nebraska volleyball fan? They're always pretty good. Let's get to break. It is time for Wingman, 464-5685. It's Friday, so that means it's Theme Song Friday. We play. I think Bock picked this one today.
Yeah.
So Bock will not be a wingman. I'll be your wingman. And to try to help you out. 464-5685. Your chance to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Wingman is on the way next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. This is Tom and Bock.
Starting the right career is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You want to enjoy your career, be challenged, have fun, earn a great weekly paycheck, and work for a great company. If you're looking for a career change or right out of high school, the John Henry's Plumbing Apprentice Program may be the perfect answer. You'll get paid while getting hands-on training. We focus on your skills while you engage in real-world learning. Why not join the John Henry's team today? Apply at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air. Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Working at Continental of Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they're hiring for production operators at $21.72 an hour and other select jobs starting at $23.42 an hour, with wages growing up to $27.55 an hour. Continental also has salary jobs available with great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljob.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
You know what? I'll get the bill.
Wow, are you sure?
Yep. Your dinner is on me tonight, bestie.
Thank you. That is so sweet of you.
You know what else is sweet? My members own credit card rewards. Between the cash back, Amazon rewards, and no hidden fees, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Hey, wait a minute. That's why you're buying dinner?
Maybe. Life is sweeter with a credit card from MemberZone. Apply for your new card today at memberzonecu.org. Limitations may apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the sidetrack band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Circa Sports is now in Iowa. Download the app to get the world's largest sports book in the palm of your hands. With the highest limits and lowest holds backed by the best customer service in the game, you'll quickly realize why Circa Sports is where the pros play. Download the app today, anywhere in Iowa, and join us at Barley's Bar in Council Bluffs this Friday for the Creighton-Villanova Game Watch. Sports betting the way it should be. Visit circasports.com. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
This is Wingman.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash. I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. You can be my wingman anytime.
Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings on 93.7 The Ticket.
464-5685. Call right now on the Honda Lincoln hotline to win $15 to Buffalo Wings and Rings so you can go buy chickens for your Yardbird. All right, it's Friday, theme song Friday. Bock has picked the selection today. It's just a famous TV theme song, and you name the name of the theme. I'll be your wingman. Bock cannot be since he knows because he picked it. But this is the song today, the theme song. Here it is.
To call in tossed salads and scrambled eggs. And maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe, but I got you pegged. But I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
Dude, they're calling again.
They're calling again.
I think you know it.
I do actually know that one. So I'll be of help if James needs some help, but he probably doesn't. Maybe he does. James, do you know the name of that theme song?
Yeah. Is it the nanny?
Is it
the nanny? Is it you want to go with?
That's what you want to go with?
Yep.
All right.
Is it the nanny?
It's not.
It's not the nanny.
He didn't even ask for the wingman, so I didn't give it. So I mean, I could have told him it's not that.
But he came through with his guess. I like it.
That's right.
I like the confidence.
We actually like the wrong guesses occasionally because it gives us more callers. Like Eric. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Great.
Good. What do you think the answer is? What is that theme song?
Frasier.
It is Frasier.
Yes.
That's
You are a
absolutely.
winner.
Were you a fan? It was well written, right? It was a good show. It's actually. Congratulations, Eric.
Yep.
He's the longest running character in TV history.
Yeah, because he came over from Cheers, right?
That's right. In fact, they built it into the show where he's moving from Boston to Seattle. He's a psychologist, but he gets a radio show and gives advice over the radio.
Yeah.
So there you
That's
go.
kind of cool. I never really watched Cheers. Did you watch Cheers?
I love Cheers.
Yeah. It was a little before my era.
Frasier was dating Diane, which was Sam's girlfriend, and then they broke up, and there's there's
only so many characters. They all have to date each other. Yeah.
Part of the, a good sitcom includes, you got to have a breakup. If you're together,
Yeah.
there's got to be a breakup. And actually, Frasier might have been dating Diane before Frasier. I don't know. Anyway, they both dated Diane, and then, of course, that doesn't work out. He marries Lilith, and that doesn't work out. And then he moves to Seattle. and becomes a single dad and does a radio show.
And the nanny didn't have anything to do with that, right? Or was that a spinoff as well?
No, I don't know what the nanny was all
I feel
about.
like the nanny was a spinoff of something, but I don't think it was Frasier.
But
it might not have been.
What was the name of the nanny? She had Fran Drescher. Was that?
Yeah, that sounds
That
right.
was Fran Drescher, I believe, with the crazy voice.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it was a chalkboard stuff. Terrible.
Yeah, I don't think it was a spinoff. I think she was just also in Friends. That's what I was probably thinking of.
I don't remember. I don't remember her being in another show, and it definitely was not a spinoff of Frasier.
Yeah,
but I thought that was a well-written show. It won a lot of awards. Niles, his brother, would win a lot of awards from that particular show. It was good. It was good. I watched the whole thing. In fact, I might have liked it better. I think I liked it better than Cheers, which I visited when I lived in Boston. There's not much to it. The whole thing was in California where they really filmed it, obviously, but there was a bar known as Cheers in Boston. So there you go. How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good. That is interesting. Did you go to this bar? Was it?
It was. I mean, I went to the Boston version of the bar, and there really wasn't much to it.
There wasn't much to it. Yeah,
and it was. I went by, as I remember, after it had. I don't know why I was out that late, but it had closed, or it was a Sunday, or something was going on. They weren't open at the time, as I remember. But yeah, very famous bar in Boston, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing when you go and you have this vision of it, and so maybe you should just keep it there. Because sometimes when you go and see the actual thing, it's just not quite as cool.
And they don't really know your name, and they don't really care if you go there or not. But it was like that big Thursday night lineup where you had Cheers and Family Ties and the Cosby Show, and kind of NBC built their whole lineup on Thursday night around that particular set of shows. It was a big show. Cheers. Frasier was as well. I don't know if that was a Thursday night as well. Thursday night show as well, but it might have been. Nebraska volleyball. I'm thinking about this tomorrow night. This is the best thing I've seen in Husker sports for quite a while, which makes me a little sad. But I think a well-written article from Dirk Chatlin. This is what a championship team looks like. It reminds us of what Nebraska football was in the 90s, right? And that's what 60-3 looks like.
It's always got to go back to football.
It doesn't. Because that's what, let's face it. If football doesn't exist, does Nebraska volleyball? Does Nebraska basketball? Does any other Husker sport?
I think they still exist.
They still exist.
I don't think the ticket does.
But
necessarily,
no, we don't exist for sure. But those other programs rely on the money that Nebraska football provides. Even a crappy year, the sellout streak survives. And, the Iowa ticket was tough to come by. You were 3-9. It actually frustrates me a little bit that more people aren't more tuned in to Husker volleyball. Because let's face it, we can't talk about it more than 20 minutes a day on this show.
Yeah.
And that might be stretching things, even after that performance last night and the fact they're in the championship game. We can't spend an entire show on Husker volleyball. We could,
but there's a big portion of the fan base that just is not going to pay attention to it.
Yeah, and it's perceived as that's where the older people go on Saturday nights. They want to go see Husker volleyball. But I wish more people would give volleyball a chance, because I think it's about to explode on a national scale. The action is so quick. It's so fast. And the athletes are so good. You're seeing a lot of girls that could play college basketball at a very high level choosing volleyball, in part because of what's happening at the Devaney Center. 8,000 fans, and that's happening more throughout the Big Ten. Most of the attendance records, I think, in college volleyball come from the Big Ten. It's a good sport, and you get varieties of different offenses. I mean, Pittsburgh's offense was dramatically different from Nebraska's. They were, a 6-2, quick moving, try to set it quick and kill it and just slam it down as hard as you possibly can. Nebraska's more about serving and passing and the block, and knocking it off. And when they're hitting the ball, hitting it off the block, using the block against you. It's more of a
off-speed hits.
It's more of an off-speed. Not that they can't go power. That's the diversity of Nebraska volleyball. They've got some girls, Lindsey Krause, Batenhorst. Those girls can kill the volleyball. And obviously you have Kayla Caffey in the middle and Lauren Stivrins. Those girls are all athletic enough to just pound it down anytime they want to, but they don't always rely on that. and their versatility. They just drive you crazy with their defense. Like, you think you've got it on the floor, and there comes Lexi Rodriguez again to save it. I think she had 13 digs, and not even one of her better performances. But that back row with Akana, Knuckles, and, they're amazing. They've been so good. That's the best back row. That's the most elite defense that we've seen in college volleyball. And I just love watching them. I just think they're fantastic to watch.
What was it? The teammates have a different name for the back row than the coaches do.
Yeah, that's right. We can say that. She shouldn't have said it. She said midgets.
Yeah.
And John Cook had to correct Maddie Kubek. Those aren't the midgets. We
don't say that. We don't say that. Just to be clear, the coaches don't say that.
That's not what they say. But Wisconsin can dig the ball as well, and they also have elite outside hitters. So it's this challenge. Nebraska obviously hasn't beaten Wisconsin for a while. I think it's 4 or 5 straight, where they have not beaten Wisconsin, not taken many sets from Wisconsin. So this is a team that's going to be very, very difficult to beat. But this is also a different team. Nebraska is also a different team than we've seen throughout the season. I mean, this is nowhere close to the team that played in September. Not August. Nowhere close to that team where they were experimenting with lineups. This, even in the last month, this is a dramatically better team, I think.
Well, and obviously you don't want to get too far ahead. I mean, the national championship doesn't get any bigger than that. That's the goal. That's what in front of you Saturday. But they were kind of figured to be a team after that early season struggle to be maybe a year away. I mean, a lot of these girls are going to come back and kind of build on the future. It was one of the best freshman classes that we've seen in a long time. So the future is bright. It stays bright. It might even be getting brighter for John Cook. I don't know how much brighter it can get the national championship appearance, but of course they had to do it from, that 10th seed. And you wonder, because especially looking at Pitt, like they had similar conference records. Nebraska obviously played a very tough non-conference schedule. If they, if they kind of took it light, they might get a higher seeding and might be perceived as a better team. But either way, it doesn't matter how you're perceived. It's how you do in the tournament. And now they're going to be perceived as one of the best teams in the country, as well they should be. They are.
I just hope we don't take it for granted more than anything, Husker volleyball, because I don't think we ever did with Husker football, but now it's gone.
Right.
At least temporarily. I don't think it's gone forever, but I don't know 60-3 will ever come back. And 3 national titles in 4 years. But what we're seeing is equivalent to that. I mean, John Cook is going for his 5th.
Yeah.
Nebraska's already won 5 total. What we're seeing is historically good. Even, in the world of not just Nebraska, but the world of college volleyball. What they do, getting to Final Fours, 5th in the last 7 years, whatever it is, for Nebraska volleyball. This is a true dynasty. And I don't think, when it was happening, that the dynasty would ever go away for Nebraska football. I just didn't think it would. Maybe varying levels of dynasty, but I always thought Nebraska would always be at least like Michigan good.
Yeah, one of the players.
Yeah. And right now, it's gone. Can it come back? Sure. I think it will come back. At what level? I don't know. But I doubt that it will ever come back to the level we saw in the 90s. And I doubt it will ever come back to what we're seeing with the volleyball team. So just appreciate it, because it may not always be here. John Cook won't always be here.
Right.
I just think it's amazing. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to watch, and I've become a volleyball fan like I never thought I would. I just have. Let's get to break and come back with our picks of density. We're going to go throughout the bowl season. I currently lead 53-40. I'm 53-45. You are 44-54.
That's not very good.
But here's the thing. I think you're coming off a really good week compared to mine. I think I was 500 or maybe one game under 500. You had like a 7-4 week or something like that. So you're hot.
Yeah.
Celebrate it, Bock.
That's right.
Our picks of density is on the way.
You're listening to Tom and Bock. Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Partly cloudy skies here for our Friday. We'll see an afternoon high of around 44. Winds out of the south at around 10. Tonight, partly cloudy with brisk conditions as northwest winds could gust over 20, a low down to 18. Much colder tomorrow. Despite sunshine, we only reach a high of around 28. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My name is Rebecca. I struggled with depression for years. I also smoked. That was my world. Finally, I realized that smoking wasn't helping me. It was making my life worse. So I took control and I quit. Now I'm able to run again and take walks with my grandkids. My tip is there's another world out there, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
When everything is changing, you need a store that's a constant. A store that has the brands your family loves and the value that you need. A store where you can stock up, pick up, and drive up. A store that's close to home and feels like home. A store that puts the health and safety of you and your family above all else. And a store that's always here to help. At Kohl's, we don't know what next year will look like. We just know that we'll be here for you no matter what. Kohl's, here today, here to stay. See store or kohls.com for details.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
You know what? I'll get the bill.
Wow, are you sure?
Yep, your dinner is on me tonight, bestie.
Thank you. That is so sweet of you.
You know what else is sweet? My members own credit card rewards. Between the cash back, Amazon rewards, and no hidden fees, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Hey, wait a minute. That's why you're buying dinner?
Maybe. Life is sweeter with a credit card from Members Own. Apply for your new card today at membersowncu.org. Limitations may apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Tom and Bock, coming at you live from Coppell Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Tom Stevens.
I think today is probably overall the best practice I've been a part of in Nebraska.
Jake Bockoven.
I think we had our best week of practice ever again. So if our goal is to get better day by day, it's been a good week.
Tom and Bock starts now.
Flying through a Friday. It's Tom and Bock. Tom Stevens here, Jake Bockoven there. We got to thank our friends at Eagle Delivery, Lincoln's homegrown delivery service. and the ticket's only choice when it comes to professional careers. If you need some help with your business, it's not always easy to find help these days. There's help available through Eagle Delivery, Lincoln's most trusted delivery service, serving many of the city's well-respected companies, efficiency, effectiveness, and economics. Eagle Delivery Service. Bock is always pointing out really positive stuff during the breaks here at the ticket. He goes, did you know that there's only 3 teams in college football that have not made a bowl game in the last 5 years? And I said, whoa, I'm guessing Nebraska is one of them, if you pointed that out. Yep. Can you guess the other 2?
In the Power 5.
In the Power 5. Kansas and Rutgers are the other 2.
That's your neighbors.
But Rutgers was at least competing for a bowl game. So they kind of had a bowl game against Maryland to play for a bowl game. Kansas did beat Texas. So they both are coming off.
But Nebraska almost beat a lot of people. Didn't you remember?
That's right. They are the best, worst team in the history of college football at 3-9. So thanks for pointing out the really positive news that you always point out to me.
That's where we are.
It's kind of where we are. This is something that you wanted to talk about, and I wanted to bring it to the table as well, because it makes you wonder about bowl games in general and how important they are. Because Kenny Pickett, of course, coached by Mark Whipple, Nebraska's new offensive coordinator, says he's skipping the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. It's December 30th against Michigan State. But not only Kenny Pickett, but Kenneth Walker, who won the Doak Walker, I believe, best running back in college football. Kenneth Walker Jr. Says that he is skipping that game as well. So the premier stars in that game. And Kenny Pickett, according to Mel Kiper, is the number 1 quarterback rated on his board. Kenneth Walker, I think, is number 2 on a lot of different boards. So I think McShay and Kiper both have him as second ranked on their board. They're both skipping the game. I mean, one of the big reasons you watch that game, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what I haven't watched Kenny Pickett all year. He was 3rd in the Heisman race. Let's watch Kenny Pickett. No. Okay, well, at least there's Kenneth Walker, right? The Michigan State running back. Let's check. No, he's not playing either. It's kind of a bummer. It's a big bummer that these guys aren't taking the game seriously. Maybe these games don't mean anything.
They don't seem to mean nearly as much as they used to. And we talked with Sean Callan about it earlier, and he mentioned Ndamukong Suh, a top 5 pick, probably wouldn't have played in that shutout win over Arizona his senior year for that bowl game. And that's just kind of where you are. If you're a first or second round draft pick, it used to be Christian McCaffrey did it, and then one other guy did it, and it'd be 2 or 3 guys a year. Now it just seems to be if you're even considering the draft, sometimes it's in your best interest just and the goal hasn't been achieved. It's in your best interest just to look forward to that. I mean, we remember Brendan Hyman even doing that last year. Not even a bowl game, just Rutgers. I mean, and he wasn't a high end draft pick. He was just a draft pick in general. And I don't know it especially with this Pittsburgh Michigan State game. But I mean, you look at a lot of these games, and I know it's happening. It just seems to be happening more and more. It's happened in the past, but like the Notre Dames, the Oklahomas of the world, those are high-end teams supposedly playing, in these not like the Fiesta Bowls. I mean, these are supposed to be big deals to get to, but now that there's the college football playoff, it's just shrank the importance of these bowl games to the fact a lot of people don't even want to play in them. And I still think you should have them. I still think it's a great opportunity for a lot of the other teams. Like we always hear, 99% of us don't go on to play pro sports or whatever, and most of them won't. So it's just a few guys, but it doesn't reflect when I look back at Michigan State and Pittsburgh. Like whoever wins that game or loses that game, it shouldn't really change how you perceive their season, and I don't think it should change really their top 25 status or how they're going to be ranked in finality, because that's not who they are. That's not their team playing out there.
What happens when one of these guys says, you know what, I'm not playing in the college football playoff? I know
that would be a pretty big one.
Well, I'm the first.
Could happen.
I'm the first pick in the NFL draft. If I get injured, what's my recourse? I mean, yeah, there's always insurance, and a lot of these guys take out insurance. I get that. What do you? It's name, image, and likeness. What are you going to give me? What are you going to give me to play in the college football playoff or a bowl game? Make it worth my while. If I'm risking my body to play in a meaningless game, and the college football playoff wouldn't be, but for some players, you're saying, what is $50 million versus a national title to me?
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't have to be a quarterback. It could be, right tackle. Or, a guy that you use a lot, but he isn't a marquee guy. I mean, that's already happened to some degree, but I don't think it's happened in the college football playoff. I think we're going to see that. I never thought, remember, I think it was Jadeveon Clowney was one of the first guys to back out of a bowl game. And there was there was a lot of controversy about that. Like, you are giving up on your team and you're not playing in the Cure Bowl. Come on. You're not going to go to the Bahamas Bowl with your team. Why aren't you a good teammate? That was a big discussion that we had here on the ticket. This is the Peach Bowl. That's a lot bigger than some of the bowl games that we were talking about before. Pittsburgh was the ACC champion.
Yeah, this is the number 10 versus number 12.
This is an 11-2 team with a guy bowing out because he says, you know what, I just don't. It's not worth the risk. I guess I was dumb enough to think that 5 years ago that this wouldn't happen at this level. But this is probably going to be the first quarterback again taken off the board, and he doesn't want to risk it. I wonder if name, image, and likeness can save some of this stuff. If you promise a little cash, but then it feels like you're selling out there too. I don't know.
It's a changing world of college football, and that's I'm not for playoff expansion, but Sean Callahan again brought up a good point when we talked about it earlier. Is that maybe expansion would help in that? Maybe if Pittsburgh and Michigan State are playing in a playoff, then they're not going to necessarily sit out.
You wouldn't bow out of that. Yeah, if you're in the college football playoff, and you might have to go. In that case, where would Michigan State be? Would it take 16?
You're taking at least 12 teams at that point, probably.
Probably 12 teams. So that's what you're probably to include a Michigan State. What about a Pitt? I mean,
they get in for the conference if you're doing the conference.
Yeah, that's probably true. That is true.
But it's just I don't know if that's a reason to expand either. I like to play off how it is. I don't think Pittsburgh and Michigan State deserve a chance to play for a national title. Because college football, to keep that regular season important, these two lost teams shouldn't be getting in. And if they happen to 1 year or whatever it is, it's kind of like Cincinnati getting in this year. It'd have to be a major outlier. So I don't know if that's the reason to expand, but it is just a reason to overall bring these up and kind of wonder, is it, are we going to continue with those bowl games? There's so much money in it, so I think that they will. But it really just makes me think: my old partner Brett Kane used to never count bowl games because players started to do this a little bit, and I always thought that's kind of silly. That's part of college football. Just one of the most important parts of college football, and in the tradition of it is the bowl games that you get to go to. It's supposed to be the big cherry on top. Now it's not seen as that, and I don't know. I'm getting close to the point, especially like I said for Pittsburgh, Michigan State. I don't want to count whatever that game is. That doesn't really affect what their season is. That's not those teams of this year.
It makes me wonder if Nebraska had gotten to 6-6. Is Adrian still in the portal? He might be still. Does Cam Taylor-Britt play in a bowl game and risk his draft status, or Cam Jurgens even?
Right.
He's probably your most draftable guy at this point. I don't know. Maybe it's Austin Allen. Would any of those guys have played in a bowl game at 6-6? Why should I? Why should I? Well, because we finally got to a bowl game, and we really need you to get to 7-6. We can't have a losing record. 3-9. But I'm living in
you're living in the dream world.
I'm living in the
where
dream
Nebraska
world.
could get to 500.
That's right. That's right. That's where we are, and it's kind of sad, but it makes me sad for the world of college football. And maybe the way to save it, some of these bowl games, is to make them part of the expanded playoff. That's the way to probably go, because I can't imagine Kenny Pickett and Kenneth Walker Jr. bowing out of a playoff game, at least not yet. Maybe in 5 years.
Yeah.
When they do expand the playoffs, some of these guys will have decisions to make, because I never thought we'd be here, and we're way past where I thought I would be.
Well, and if you do expand the playoffs, certainly this offseason, would these coaching changes have made? Oklahoma, Notre Dame, those would be playoff teams.
That's right. Why would you move? You can't move. Maybe you can.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Notre Dame did have a pretty realistic shot to get in even.
I didn't even think it was possible for Notre Dame to lose their football coach along with Oklahoma unless they got fired.
Right.
I mean, those schools have never lost their football coaches unless they were
fired. Those are destination jobs.
Yeah,
typically.
That's where you go. And
college football is just completely turned upside down. NIL's doing a lot of that. And it's not. it's time. I've been fighting for it for years. We're talking about it for years, how the players deserve this. So it's just sometimes there's unintended consequences for some of this stuff, or just a period to adjust. And that's what we're doing. We're in a major adjustment period. It's just sad to see what these bowls have become, but it is what it is when you throw the playoff out there.
It is time, Bock, for our picks of density.
It's time now for the picks of density.
Cause it's a pain, a destiny.
Wait, it says density on here.
I'm your density.
Oh, I get it. Because your picks carry a lot of weight, right?
That's some heavy shit, man.
All right, let's roll with it. The picks of density.
We were just talking about college football. There's a college football game on as we speak. Middle Tennessee State is playing in a bowl game in the Bahamas Bowl against Toledo. Toledo leads that game with 12 minutes left to go in the third quarter, 17-14. Later on tonight at 5 o'clock, ESPN2 has Northern Illinois against Coastal Carolina. Jay Ducker, who's a Bellevue West running back, ended up there and was the freshman of the year in the MAC for Northern Illinois, I should say. Coastal Carolina, 11 points, the favorite. Who do you have here, Bock?
Well, I've done my research and I've watched both these teams several times. No, I haven't done that.
Right. You broke it down the video.
Yeah. Not exactly. But Coastal Carolina certainly is kind of the nation's darling last year. Didn't quite be able to do that this year for the Chanticleers, but I still think they capped their season off with a good win. The MAC this year just wasn't very good. They didn't have a leading team. Northern Illinois among the best of them, but I think Coastal Carolina will get it done and cover.
I think so too. I like Coastal Carolina. Joe Moglia built that program. Of course, was on Bo Pelini's staff at one time. So I'll take Coastal Carolina and to cover, even though it's a lot of points at 11. Independence Bowl, UAB at 8-4 versus 13th ranked BYU. You would have thought that maybe BYU could have gotten a better game than this, but they don't have a conference affiliation. Maybe that's part of it. They're 10-2 and a 6.5-point favorite in the Independence Bowl going on Saturday. I'll take BYU and the 6.5.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's that low. I mean, I like Bill Clark and UAB and their story of, football was shut down a few years ago there. They played Georgia this year and lost 56-7. I know that's not quite BYU, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep it close to somebody in that category. So I like BYU.
Moving on to the NFL, because those are the only two bowl games this weekend. Well, we can't pick the Middle Tennessee State Toledo game because that's underway. It's happening already. Let's move on to the NFL. The Panthers at 5-8 versus the Bills at 7-6. The Bills a 10.5-point favorite. The Panthers were good earlier in the season, and then they've just been terrible. Cam didn't save them.
I thought Cam was back.
I thought Cam would come save them. He hasn't saved them.
Yeah, he hasn't saved them. The Bills are not looking all too impressive themselves. Of course, did come back to get that game in overtime against the Patriots. 10.5's a lot in the NFL, though. Yeah, I think that's too much. I'll get the Panthers to cover. I think the Bills win, though.
I'll give you an opportunity to catch up. I'll take the Bills. The Bills with 2 straight losses, but very good losses, if there is such a thing. An overtime loss. They lost to New England as well. Who was their last loss? Who was it? It was Tampa Bay. That was a great game, of course, that they lost to Tampa Bay, went into overtime. I'll take the Bills even with 10.5. Dallas at 9-4 versus the Giants at 4-9. The Cowboys, a 10.5-point favorite. The Cowboys have not played that well as of late, but they do continue to win. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Their defense has certainly been playing very well. Randy Gregory included, of course. Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons could be player of the year, let alone rookie of the year.
Yeah. But the Giants aren't very good. Like you said, this is a 10.5-point spread. I just said that's a big spread in the NFL. Therefore, I'm still going with the Cowboys because the Giants have lost their last 2 games by more than 10. So it's not too big.
Yeah, I think we both take the Cowboys on that one. Washington at 6-7, and the Eagles at 6-7. Another one with a big point spread here, 9.5 for the Eagles.
Yeah, I do think that one's too big. I think these are probably 2 similar teams. I think it's going to come down to the end. So I like at least the football team to cover.
I do too. I don't think they'll win the game, but the Eagles, I think will. And it's a divisional game. I'm going to go with Washington on that one as well. Titans at 9-4 versus the Steelers at 6-1. It's listed at even. The Titans, of course, lost Derrick Henry. You wonder if they're the same team, but the record's still good, 9-4. I'm going to take the Titans.
Yeah, they haven't looked quite the same since they lost Derrick Henry, of course, including losing to the Texans a few weeks ago. I don't know how much you look into their beatdown of the Jaguars 20-0. Of course, that was the last game for Urban Meyer there, but they haven't really looked too good lately. So I do have to catch up. I better go with the Steelers since it's an evens.
There you go. Got the Falcons at 6-7 versus the 49ers playing really good football as of late. The 49ers, 9.5-point favorite. I think the 49ers will win. But Matty Ice is still there, right?
Yeah.
I'll take the Falcons to cover.
You like the Falcons to cover? Again, these are big. There's a lot of big point spreads in the NFL this weekend. I would say that's a pretty close game, but I like the fact the 49ers have been kind of on fire lately. I'll go with them to try to catch up.
A team that's really fallen off without Drew Brees. They just. Even maybe Jameis Winston, losing him for the rest of the year. Taysom Hill maybe hasn't been the answer the Saints thought. They're 6-7 versus Tampa Bay. Big number again. Tampa Bay 10-3, but 11 points. The favorite. What do you have?
Well, the Saints finally, playing the Jets can cure a lot of things, and it cured their 5-game losing streak. But I still think Tampa Bay is far too good for them. I think they cover in this one.
You think the Saints cover?
No, I think Tampa Bay covers.
Okay, I'm going to take the Saints on this one. I think the Saints defense is still good. They have offensive woes for sure. And a lot of these games, it's just hard to know who's going to play because of COVID.
Right, that is true.
So we're just kind of picking a little blind in that you don't know a lot of the personnel, but I'll take the Saints to cover.
Yeah, Sean Payton won't be coaching that game.
Yep. Not a big deal, in my opinion. He is the head coach. I guess it means something.
Yeah.
The Vikings 6-7 versus the Bears 4-9, -5.5. The Vikings. Who do you have?
Well, the Vikings don't ever make anything easy on themselves, do they? So 5.5 might be too big. Tom, I think your Vikings are going to get a win, but I think you're going to have to be biting your fingernails for it. So I'll take the Bears to cover.
I'll take the Vikings. I don't believe that they'll cover the 5.5, but I got to give you a shot to get back in this thing. And then you got the Packers and the Ravens. Packers, of course, 10-3. Rodgers still struggling with the bad toe, but he looks good. 5.5 over the Ravens at 8-5, and you're wondering about Lamar Jackson and his health.
Yeah, at this point, because Lamar Jackson, you don't know if he's going to go. I like the Packers anyway. I think they always get kind of overlooked a little bit as the best team in the league because they're always there, so that maybe they're not the sexy team to talk about. But I like the Packers to cover, especially, of course, if Lamar doesn't play.
I'm going to go with the Packers as well. 5.5 seems very coverable. The Ravens, I don't know what they are, but I'm going to go with the Packers to win that game. And there you go. That's our picks of density. And once again, I lead 53-45 to 44-54, but you had a good week last week. So continue. Good luck this weekend, Bock. And we'll do the rest of the NFL schedule as we wind down the season and all the college bowl games as well. And next time it'll be more research. We were kind of running low on time today. Let's get to break and come back with our next guest. We've got Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. We'll talk a little Husker football. What's his take on all the new hires, the latest in recruiting, all of that from Evan Bland coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. This is Tom and Bock.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
When everything is changing, you need a store that's a constant. A store that has the brands your family loves and the value that you need. A store where you can stock up, pick up, and drive up. A store that's close to home and feels like home. a store that puts the health and safety of you and your family above all else, and a store that's always here to help. At Kohl's, we don't know what next year will look like. We just know that we'll be here for you no matter what. Kohl's, here today, here to stay. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
But why is Nebraska not a hungry program? Why does Michigan come in with hunger? Where's the hunger? Nebraska doesn't play like a hungry team. Even on its best nights, it doesn't look like a very hungry team. Right?
No.
They're not killers.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
My name is Rebecca. I struggled with depression for years. I also smoked. That was my world. Finally, I realized that smoking wasn't helping me. It was making my life worse. So I took control and I quit. Now I'm able to run again and take walks with my grandkids. My tip is there's another world out there, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips.
Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
This year, show her she's the one with 1 carat diamond jewelry from Riddle's Jewelry, your trusted family-owned jeweler for over 60 years. Choose from Riddle's remarkable collection of 1 carat total weight diamonds in rings, pendants, bracelets, or earrings at prices you'll love with savings up to 50%. Show the one you love how much they mean to you with the perfect 1 carat diamond gift from Riddle's Jewelry.
Located in Gateway Mall.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and in just a few moments, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln, will be joining us with the latest update. But before I bring Andy on, I'd like to tell our listeners about how proud I am to work with Honda of Lincoln. I like the way they provide listeners honest, up-to-date information that helps people make informed decisions about buying or leasing. Hey, Andy, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Charlie, and thank you for your comment.
Andy, what's happening at Honda of Lincoln?
We still have truckloads of new Hondas arriving daily, and there's still more than 500 new Hondas to choose from, either in stock or on the way. Plus, we have 0% APR financing available.
How about used, Andy?
One of our best selections of all makes and models, and we have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas that have special APR starting at 0.99%.
That's great, Andy. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. In boys basketball on Saturday, number 1 Bellevue West went over number 3 Lincoln Pius, 95-68. Bellevue West would get hot from deep in the second half, ending the game with 12 made threes. In basketball on Tuesday, December 14th, the Lincoln Southeast boys fell to Omaha Westside, 75-59. Southeast sits at 3-2 on the season and will have a chance to get back at 500 in their inter-city matchup against undefeated Lincoln Southwest. The girls for Lincoln Southwest also lost against Omaha Northwest in a low-scoring game, 36-33. Lincoln Lutheran came up short against Seward in a loss 66-54. They have now dropped 5 straight. The Lincoln Lutheran girls have had an opposite start to the season, beating Seward 41-22. They have come out of the gate strong now, sitting at 5-0, with only one of their games being within 10 points. The Norris girls in Class B have also had an undefeated start to the season, sitting at 4-0. On Tuesday, they took down another C1 powerhouse in Wahoo, 43-49. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
At Southeast Community College, we know that winter isn't even here yet, but spring is already on our minds. Registration for the spring 2022 semester is open now. Whether you want to get a head start on a 4-year degree, learn a new trade with a certificate program, or add to your job skills, SCC has a class for you. Spring semester starts January 10th. Learn more about our more than 60 programs of study online at southeast.edu. SCC, your path to possible.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Partly cloudy skies here for our Friday. We'll see an afternoon high of around 44. Winds out of the south at around 10. Tonight, partly cloudy with brisk conditions as northwest winds could gust over 20, a low down to 18. Much colder tomorrow. Despite sunshine, we only reach a high of around 28. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to Tom and Bock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Final half hour of Tom and Bock. Something we haven't mentioned, I don't believe. We talked about it, but not maybe on the air. Darius Payne is back. He entered the portal earlier this week, and now apparently he's coming back to Nebraska.
Well, maybe he's not on the portal, at least. I don't know if that's a separate announcement.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't necessarily he's coming back to Nebraska. Is that awkward, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, kids have different decisions. Probably not.
I don't compare it to like storming out of a party. You know, I hate all you guys. Hey, you're the worst. I'm leaving. And then you're 10 minutes later. Sorry, I was in a bad moment. I don't compare it to that.
No.
I think he would be welcomed back with open arms.
Yeah.
We certainly like him on this radio program and all our programs. I think he's a cool cat, and I hope he stays. The fact that he's out of the portal, Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, is that good news for Nebraska? Does that mean he's coming back in your mind?
Yeah, he's coming back. Our story went up. We got some confirmation. He's intending to return to Nebraska.
Okay,
so,
that is good news.
He was one of the guys who, I mean, you look at the guys that have left Nebraska. I mean, obviously, Adrian Martinez, you kind of knew the story there. Sivion Morrison and Marvin Scott, it was sort of a playing time thing. And Jackson Hanna was the same thing. But you look at Darius Payne, and he was someone who, when you look at that outside linebacker position, you thought, he's got a chance to have some pretty meaningful snaps next year with JoJo Doman moving on. And you've got, it looks like Caleb Tanner and Garrett Nelson will be back. But beyond that, you kind of think Darius Payne would be that next guy or that first guy in that rotation. And he was, a little bit smaller than some of the players they've recruited at his position, but they like how he can get after the quarterback. And, with 2 more years to play, like it feels like his best football's in front of him. And I remember him, he was the guy that coaches identified as sort of exhibit A during the pandemic, who sort of lost a year of development because of that. And because the nutrition program and the strength program was kind of a shadow of what it was for a time. He's someone that they feel like they can continue to develop and can be a good player. So yeah, good news for Nebraska to have him back. And that makes, what that defense is next year, maybe just a little bit more predictable than what it was with all the guys that are moving on.
Of course, there's still a lot of the picture left to be seen at Nebraska as far as the offensive side of the ball, particularly the quarterback position. Adrian Martinez among the names, many names, finding a place, home. And it looks like Keaton Slovis is the new front runner for Nebraska as far as the USC transfer goes. Do you think that would be a good fit if he is the guy?
Yeah, he'd be a different sort of quarterback than Nebraska fans are used to, right? I mean, he's not known for being a runner the way that, you go back a decade now, and with the exception of Tanner Lee in 2017, Nebraska quarterbacks have been runners, and I don't know that Slovis would necessarily fit that mold, but it's been an interesting just observing the transfer portal when you look at Miles Brennan staying at LSU and Max Johnson going to Texas A&M and Dylan Gabriel going to UCLA. And it's been interesting to see the market grow and then start to shrink again. And, as Scott Frost said Wednesday, they clearly would like to add a quarterback out of the portal. They would like somebody who has some experience, especially for this 2022 season where it is sort of a make or break year. And if you don't have somebody who is a veteran in college football, you're not in the same place. And so, I think that's somebody that they're going to continue to pursue. Clearly, there's some mutual interest there. I think it's always worth reminding that there are other players that probably will be in the portal, whether that's after a bowl game or after their NFL draft evaluations come back, or maybe even after the spring, that Nebraska could also be interested in, that in theory could be part of their plans for the fall. So right now it looks like Slovis, maybe that's something that works. Two things that Nebraska can offer right now are playing time and NIL opportunities. Those are two things that continue to set them apart right now. And we'll see if that's enough to attract a player or two right now. Maybe that's Slovis. And again, maybe it's somebody else we don't even know about just yet.
Evan Blatt of the Omaha World Herald, our guest. We've heard a lot this week about marrying philosophies, taking some of the spread concepts of Scott Frost and marrying them with the pro style that maybe Mark Whipple is more used to doing, especially more recently with a guy like Kenny Pickett. Do you expect that? Or do you, with the guy with Keaton Slovis, or it's just straight pro style? What do you expect from this offense?
I mean, I expect them to cater it to the personnel that they have. I don't know that Nebraska with a different quarterback than Adrian Martinez would have been running the option last year, right? But they did that because that was a strength of Martinez's and something that they felt like they could do to get yards and move the ball downfield. And so it's just so hard to say what they'll do until you have those other quarterbacks in the room. So, I mean, you can kind of play the mental exercise where you assume that Nebraska doesn't get their guy out of the portal and they have to go with Logan Smothers or Heinrich Harburg and roll with those guys. And, in that case, I would expect them to still have an element of quarterback run. I think just based on our talks with Whipple and his own history, I would be surprised if Nebraska relied on it as heavily as they have these last 4 years. I just don't think you can do that with the injuries and not just that, but the turnovers too. I mean, if your quarterback running, he's going to fumble it. It's just not a sustained sort of recipe for success in the Big Ten and major college football. And so, if that's the way that they go, I think there would be some elements of that. If they go to the portal and they get somebody like a Slovis, then I would expect it to look a little bit more like what Pittsburgh's offense looked like this year, where it's a little bit more multiple. It's a little bit more pro style. You're not asking your quarterback to run much, if at all. And again, one of the names of the game is keeping your guy upright, keeping your guy healthy, keeping him on the field. And, if you can move the ball without putting your guy at risk, I think that's something that they want to do, but they seem like they're not locked in necessarily on exactly what that attack's going to look like next fall.
I think even during this interview, Nebraska landed a portal wide receiver, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda from New Mexico State. And if you don't know too much about that, I mean, that's just happening now. But what positions of need do you think Nebraska still has from the portal outside of quarterback would be the biggest ones?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Garcia Castaneda, he's like a top 10, I guess, portal quarterback right now. Those are the rankings now, apparently, out of New Mexico State. Maybe not quite the numbers that Samori Toure had from the FCS level a year ago, but somebody who Nebraska brought in for a visit this last weekend and clearly feels good about, adding to the mix and being a contributor sooner than later, I suppose. So, first of all, it's been pretty impressive to see what they've done with receiver just today with Dakotas Crawford and then, Garcia Castaneda, but then the way they've remade the secondary too. I mean, Deshaun Singleton, Jalen Gould have been additions. There's still Tommy Hill out of the transfer portal was another one. I mean, they've definitely added some depth there. I think, looking forward, you're going to still need some line help, I think, on both sides. Offensively, You're going to need some interior blockers still, probably one or two guys that you could add in there. And I think defensively too, I mean, they're still pursuing a couple of junior college guys, a couple portal guys on the defensive line. Again, it's always worth remembering that, especially in the transfer portal, these guys have dozens of offers oftentimes. So Nebraska is not sort of going out there and picking and choosing what it wants to do. It's going up against just as stiff a competition as if these guys were 4-star high school recruits. So I think line help both ways. I think that you just kind of go through the positions. They're looking good at tight end. I think they're looking good at receiver now with some of the additions that they've made there. Running back is probably one that you still would like to add another guy or two with some of the attrition that they've had there. And the nice thing about that position is, you see it all the time. Those freshmen or those newcomers, Kenneth Walker last year as a transfer, like those guys pop right away. So that's a position that if Nebraska hits on it, that can turn pretty quickly too. So I think those are probably a few, starting with the line and then some of those skill spots.
Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald covers Nebraska football recruiting, some baseball as well for the World Herald. You wrote about Dakotas Crawford. Aside from going to the top of the all-name team, what does he bring the LSU flip to Nebraska?
I mean, you look at his film, and he's got a little bit of everything on there. I mean, he has the moments where he can break away from defenders. He's got moments where he's catching, short 5-yard passes in the middle of the field and making a couple guys miss. I think maybe what's as impressive as anything is how he's just shows how physical he is, high punting some balls. There's some couple of fade routes where he's taken some hits and caught the ball. Nebraska's put out these little 1-minute videos where some of the outgoing players comment on it, and Samori Toure watched that play of Crawford and he goes, "Woo!" That guy has it. I mean, I think it's a little bit of everything. Certainly the name is cool. I think that, that buys you guys at least a radio segment or two.
Absolutely.
Breaking down some of the best all-time Husker names from Richie Incognito to Cookie Belcher to Mojo Hagee to, you guys could go on and on.
We already did that segment and we didn't mention any of those names. We blew it. We completely blew it.
Cookie Belcher, I think of all sports, that's got to be right up there. But
Thunder
Richie
Collins,
Incognito, I Am Hip. My goodness, there's so many.
Yeah, we had I'm Hip. We had Thunder Collins. We had a few others. What was your favorite, Bock? Did you have a favorite on that list?
Oh, Monte Cristo. Yeah.
Monte Cristo. Okay.
Yeah.
But Dakotas Crawford is top 10 right now. Pretty impressive stuff. Bock asked this question, and Lee Sterling almost hung up on him, our guest earlier this morning. So I wanted to ask you. He made the case, that is Bock. The Nebraska, of course, we know 3-9, but the best worst team in the history of college football. He made the case that Nebraska would be within one score of every team in the college football playoff. Is he right? Is Bock right?
Well, we know that that's true for at least 1/4 of it. With what they did against Michigan. I don't know that I'm making that leap for Georgia and Alabama. I think that seems like a stretch. Cincinnati, maybe. I think you could maybe see that, but it's you think about all the scenarios going into this 2021 season where what would have to happen for Nebraska to have a losing record the way that it did, finish 3-9, and continue to go forward with Scott Frost. And I think we threaded the needle on that. They were close. They were competitive in every game. Set that record with 9 single-digit losses, and it's such a fascinating off-season debate because you can look at it any way that you want to. You can look at it and say, man, this team doesn't have it because they can't ever finish in the clutch, or you can flip it around and say, hey, for years Nebraska fans were upset that they got embarrassed on the big stage, and that wasn't the case this year, and this is evidence that they are closing that gap, even if the record didn't show it within this really difficult, top 5 most difficult schedule in the country. So it makes for a really interesting off-season debate. And then you just kind of look at what they've got coming back next year. And you wonder if that's the changes that they've made on their staff, the changes they've made with personnel, will that help continue to close the gap, or do they lose more than they gain in terms of some of the guys that are no longer here? But as far as the college football playoff, I would not say that they would be within single digits of all four. I'll give them Michigan and Cincinnati.
That's pretty good, at least. How about this question? This is another good one. Adrian Martinez obviously off to Kansas State. Who has a better chance of making a bowl game next year, Adrian Martinez or Nebraska?
Ooh.
That's good. Well, I haven't looked closely at the schedules for either. I mean, I know what Nebraska's schedule's like. It's a little easier. I don't know what Kansas State's schedule's like. They play everybody in the Big 12.
Their big non-con games, Missouri. Then they have 2 games that should be winnable.
Okay, interesting. They're playing Missouri next year. That's fascinating. For what it's worth, I feel like that was a pretty good landing spot for Adrian Martinez. I mean, that Kansas State program it's not spectacular, but it's solid. Like it feels like he's going to have guys around him that maybe they're not going to be Alabama skill guys or O-line, but they're going to be solid enough that he's going to be able to operate. It'll be fascinating to see how much he runs versus, just how he's used compared to how he was used at Nebraska. Nebraska has to make a bowl game next year. There's no way around it if they're going to continue, with this staff and continue on this course. So I guess with all this waffling, it's hard to. I don't know. That's a great question.
Make your
I
pick.
suppose I would say Nebraska, just because you got to think that they're going to get over the hump, and the schedule will maybe do them a little bit more a favor next year. But that's a tough one. You can put that up for Vegas, and you'd probably get some good action on that bet.
We might do that. Good stuff, Evan. As always, we will talk to you next week.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Save that question for Monday.
Yeah.
Who has the better season, Adrian Martinez or Nebraska next year? I like Chris Kleinman a lot.
Yeah, and I even like what I like even more is that Colin Klein's is the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Obviously, a great coach at Kansas State, but more importantly, Coach Klein. Coach Klein from Waterboy, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go. A lot of connections there. That makes a lot of sense. I think at this point, I would lean Kansas State since they're already in a bowl game this year, and they have made several.
That Deuce Vaughn guy is not too bad.
I like Deuce Vaughn a lot. Let's get to break and finish out with the pregame. Nick and Rico are here. We'll talk to them coming up.
You're listening to Tom and Bock. Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and in just a few moments, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln, will be joining us with the latest update. But before I bring Andy on, I'd like to tell our listeners about how proud I am to work with Honda of Lincoln. I like the way they provide listeners honest, up-to-date information that helps people make informed decisions about buying or leasing. Hey, Andy, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Charlie, and thank you for your comment.
Andy, what's happening at Honda of Lincoln?
We still have truckloads of new Hondas arriving daily, and there's still more than 500 new Hondas to choose from, either in stock or on the way. Plus, we have 0% APR financing available.
How about used, Andy?
One of our best selections of all makes and models, and we have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas that have special APR starting at 0.99%.
That's great, Andy. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
You know what? I'll get the bill.
Wow, are you sure?
Yep. Your dinner is on me tonight, bestie.
Thank you. That is so sweet of you.
You know what else is sweet? My members own credit card rewards. Between the cash back, Amazon rewards, and no hidden fees, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Hey, wait a minute. That's why you're buying dinner?
Maybe. Life is sweeter with a credit card from Members Own. Apply for your new card today at membersowncu.org. Limitations may apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
And now, story time from the world of yum. I could not eat fruitcake. I would not eat it by a lake. I would not eat it with a snake. There's no amount that I would take because I'll never, ever eat fruitcake. Hey, these snacks are really good. What is this? This is Grandma's fruitcake, but it's so moist and delicious. I like fruitcake. Okay, good to know. Kids, I gotta go. All literature is a lie.
Check out Grandma's fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
At Southeast Community College, we know that winter isn't even here yet, but spring is already on our minds. Registration for the spring 2022 semester is open now. Whether you want to get a head start on a 4-year degree, learn a new trade with a certificate program, or add to your job skills, SCC has a class for you. Spring semester starts January 10th. Learn more about our more than 60 programs of study online at southeast.edu. SCC, your path to possible.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips.
Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Man, we sure could use an easy win this season. I hear ya. That's why I suggested to the wife that we go to Magical Lights of Seward, the area's largest and most entertaining drive-through Christmas light show. So, by suggesting going to Magical Lights of Seward, you got a win? Yeah, my wife said it was the best idea I'd had in a long time. The kids loved the dazzling light show, synced with traditional and modern Christmas music, and we had an affordable, fun family experience. Get your win too by pre-ordering your tickets today at magicallightsofseward.com/ticket.
This year, show her she's the one with 1-carat diamond jewelry from Riddle's Jewelry, your trusted family-owned jeweler for over 60 years. Choose from Riddle's remarkable collection of 1-carat total weight diamonds in rings, pendants, bracelets, or earrings at prices you'll love with savings up to 50%. Show the one you love how much they mean to you with the perfect 1-carat diamond gift from Riddle's Jewelry.
Located in Gateway Mall.
If you're struggling to get motivated to work out, you're not alone, and Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is here to help. Build muscle, burn fat, and lose weight with Farrell's 10-week challenge starting January 8th, all for a chance to win $1,000. Farrell's combines kickboxing with inclusive strength training and nutrition planning to help you stay on track. Go to fxblincoln.com to sign up today. It's the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-week challenge starting January 8th with 2 locations in Lincoln.
You're listening to Tom and Bock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Breaking news. Bock just informed me that American Airlines has kicked off a guy that was wearing ladies' underwear over his face as a mask.
That's right. That won't work.
We always learn something from the break that Bock says, did you see this? You got to mention it. So that's the big deal that Bock is focused on. We'll see that story, how it ends as it develops. Maybe we'll give you an update on Monday.
I think that's the end. I think that's the end of it.
Yeah, he just got kicked off.
Well, maybe he'll wear, it could be updated. He's wearing more underwear today, that type of thing. Or he was put in prison because he did this.
Ooh.
Who knows where that story will lead. Keaton. We were debating the pronunciation of Keaton Slovitz. It is Keaton.
We looked up a video of him saying the name, and he says Keaton.
So there you go. Possibly Nebraska. I think Nebraska has a shot there. It seems like they have real interest, and maybe there's real interest on both sides. Would that make you guys happy?
Yeah.
Keaton Slovis.
I would rather have Keaton Slovis than maybe that's not the right word. I would feel more comfortable going into next season having Keaton Slovis than anybody that Nebraska
I don't want
has
Keaton
right now.
Slovis. Didn't work at USC. It won't work here.
That's right. It'll never work here. We tried.
Who would you have wanted? Would you have taken?
No, I just don't want Keaton Slovis.
Why not?
I'm bummed Dylan Gabriel.
I want
didn't
Cam
look here.
Oh, you want the incarnate word guy.
I want Cam.
Why do you want the incarnate word guy?
I want Cam. He's a winner.
He's a winner. 47 touchdowns, something like that.
That's all anybody talks about. You want a winner? He's a winner.
He's a winner.
Well, I think they want a winner at a higher level.
Well, what's the matter with the level?
It certainly matters.
Nebraska also got a grad transfer, or not a grad transfer,
2
so
years.
much.
Nope, 2 years left.
2 years left. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda, the wide receiver from New Mexico State, has landed now at Nebraska. It looks like Mickey Joseph doing work.
Yeah, big day for him. Two wide receivers already today.
The other one, Dakota's Crawford, who's a wide receiver, flipped from LSU.
Yeah, with Castaneda, it sounds like they feel like he could play both outside or inside, so possibly like a replacement for Toure if they wanted to go back with the portal. But will he have the production as Toure? That's yet to be determined.
He didn't play his sophomore year because their season was canceled. But his freshman year, he put up some decent numbers, but it was at a different college.
Yeah, 34 catches last year. I believe I saw 30-some catches last year for 4 touchdowns as well at New Mexico State. So
also his one pass was a touchdown.
Did he have a pass?
So he could.
In high school, he played wide receiver, running back, and quarterback.
Do you guys remember when Rex Burkhead would throw passes?
They did that a lot, didn't they?
They did that a lot.
Yeah,
They
that was
loved
awesome.
having Rex throw the football. And I want them to go back.
I would like to see any trick play ever. We didn't see one, and we saw more one-score losses more than that in the history of college football. No trick plays.
I am upset they didn't use Cam Taylor-Britt as a quarterback at all.
Oh my gosh. That was
not like an
actual
such
a big storyline.
Not like an actual quarterback, but like a trick play, like you have him in the backfield as like a running back. But then, I mean, he's a corner and he's never back there, so I guess the teams would know what's happening.
And you already have running backs playing quarterback.
That's true. That's an interesting. I wonder what is the big storyline going to be in the spring ball, and it's when it's usually, hey Cam, you working out at quarterback at all this winter?
I think it's just going to be the quarterback competition. It's going to be boring.
It's
going to be boring, which is good.
Good. Is that going to be the biggest storyline next year?
Oh, absolutely. Adrian's gone. Who's the next Adrian?
Or who's the offensive line? Just who?
No, it's quarterback.
I feel like they're going to lean towards whoever they bring in is going to be the starter.
Well, they're going to lean. If you get Chubba Purdy, then I think you got a battle. If you get Caden Slovis, I think Slovis is the guy.
Yeah, if you get Keaton Slovis, that's the guy.
Yep.
Why is Keaton Slovis the guy?
Because he's been a winner, or not a winner, but he's
not
been
a winner.
He's won 7 games before.
He's in the Heisman race.
So was Adrian.
Yeah, no, that's the whole deal.
I would take him, and I'd be, find a reason to be happy about it. I would just like a more mobile quarterback.
I think he makes it kind of worth the whole experiment. You need to get a name that makes this whole thing worth one more year, one more go around.
Are we going to look back on this transfer portal class, if you want to call it that, or group of quarterbacks, and say Nebraska missed an opportunity?
I hope not.
No,
probably.
I mean, more than likely, but I hope not.
Yeah, there's a lot of names out there.
I mean, Miles Brennan was the opportunity.
Miles Brennan was like the one guy that was the top of the line guy that Nebraska really was talking.
I would take Purdy. Yeah. I'd be happy with Purdy. If they got Purdy, I know
why? Just because his brother's Brock?
No, because he's mobile.
Oh,
and he's younger. I mean, he
Logan Smothers is mobile. You already have that guy.
Well, man, I don't know. I just wanted. I'm always going to say this, and I know it sounds like a broken record. I wanted a dual threat guy.
Let's head down to Rice.
I know.
Pick up Luke.
Let's
bring Luke back.
Well, that's a single threat guy.
What are we waiting
and
for?
it's running.
Let's bring Luke back.
I think we've tried that.
That's
before.
not the answer.
Nebraska. How much did you stay up? Did you stay up watching Nebraska volleyball?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
I watched highlights. I was in Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
He was watching Spider-Man. I watched the game before.
McGuire
I watched the match before, and I watched all of Nebraska. So
yeah,
it was fun.
You're the most optimistic guy when it comes to any Husker sport. They're going to beat Wisconsin, right?
They're going to beat them in 4.
In 4?
Yeah.
Nick?
We'll see. I don't know. We're going to learn more from Emily Eamon of the Big Ten Network here at 2:30.
There you go.
What do you think, Bock?
Yeah, I mean, I'll cheer for him. I think
you know what?
It's pretty darn good.
People count them out. They somehow find a way to win.
I think they're on fire. I think they're going to win. I think their defense is elite, but I could be wrong.
It's hard to beat the same team 3 times.
Right. We've never heard that cliche before.
Even though they've beat them, 7 times in a row.
Enough cliches from this show. We'll hand you off to more. No, they will never do cliches. They're just solid radio. The happy hour with Nick and Rico is on the way next. Bye.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new